morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Tuesday, and the Raptors lost to the Grizzlies. I'm going to say this right now. Anybody who's, all right, I'm not going to say it this way. I'll say it this way. The Raptors season at this point is a wash. Whoosh. It's a wash. Nothing matters for the rest of the season now. Last night is the signifier that nothing matters about what we do in games for the rest of the season as far as wins and losses. The stuff that matters is watching Scotty get better and better, is watching RJ and Emmanuel and the rest of them get more integrated and connected. Stuff that matters is seeing Yacht come back healthy, seeing us possibly make more moves in the near future, seeing us make more moves for sure this offseason, seeing us retain our top pick from San Antonio because this is obvious. I mean, listen, I said yesterday in the preview, this was going to be a battle of size versus talent. But it's not just size versus talent at this point because the talent is there. There's talent on our team. You can see it in Scotty. You can see it in RJ. But it's also a reset. Darko said it last night after the game in his press conference that we are basically in training camp again right now. That we have so much overhaul in our roster, so much change, so much unfamiliarity on our team that we're basically in training camp at the halfway point of the season. All the other teams in the league have had a whole half season to build up chemistry with their units as they are. And because of our changes, very big major trades, 2 of them in the last month, that means that we are reset. We reset in the halfway point of the season. And we should not be expected to compete with anybody this year for the rest of the year. I'm going to tell that right now. Now, we're going to steal some games. Now, we're going to have some games where Scotty and RJ and Emmanuel get it together and they show progress before the end of the season. We're going to win. But on any given night, if we're going to play the Grizzlies with half their team, we're going to play the Charlotte Hornets, we're going to play the worst teams in this league, maybe even Detroit coming up later this season. Guys, get ready to lose possibly because there's fundamental things that are important for you to win a basketball game, and we don't have them right now. I mean, besides the whole unfamiliarity of guys not knowing each other and walking on eggshells because there may be still some more trades coming, and also the, sussing out of learning each other, and then also at the same time, you're kind of competing for stuff at the same time. It's very much a mess. It very much is. And, we were fine after the OG trade. I felt like we could have gone forward without making the Pascal trade, but we had to make the Pascal trade for future considerations of things. And we can't second guess that decision. But it felt like when we had spicy barbecue yak recipe, that was pretty damn good. We had one of the top offenses in the league. We were running. We were rolling. We had good things going. In some ways, I regret the Siakam trade, but I know that it was absolutely necessary. And that in some ways, it's going to be better off for the long term and the long haul for things that we did the Siakam trade. But that's the thing. We're mortgaging the present, the now, the right now for the future. And that's what we did. So Raptors fans, y'all got to recalibrate what you expect from your team at this point. You guys got to understand, in some ways, losing is winning at this point. And it's just going to be this way. We can't change it. Y'all can get upset. Y'all can have your certain standard for how the team should perform. Well, get over yourself because this team is in a reset. And we resetted our team halfway through the season. Other teams have already gone pretty far in their season. They have things connected. Memphis is in trouble too, and they're trying to get things going. That's a weird thing to gauge yourself against. Memphis doesn't have half their team, and y'all are looking at it like that and then looking at us, and you're like, well, you guys got to understand. First of all, like I said, we're in training camp again. This week is very much going to be training camp. They're going to the OVO Center this morning to do a training camp in January. In the middle of the NBA season, they're going to come and bring in new guys and teach them like they would be teaching them in September or October of last year. Everybody needs to realize that. Now, not only that, is we have no big men. And this is the biggest thing that's killing us right now, is that you cannot play good basketball fundamentally if you are absolutely destroyed down low near the basket. I felt so bad for Chris Boucher last night. He's in there fighting like he normally did all his career with the Raptors, and usually he's got backup. Usually he'd have OG. Usually he'd have Pascal. Usually he'd even have Precious. So one of these big guys beside him that help him, because what's happening is he's in there fighting for the boards by himself, and he's getting out muscled. They could just wrench the ball right out of Chris's hands. Chris is getting the ball first. He's grabbing it, but there's nobody there to help him with 2 or 3 other rebounders from the other team around him, swatting the ball out of his hands after he gets it. What are you supposed to do? We cannot go so guard heavy. It is a failure of a system. It's a failure of an idea, and it may be intentional. It may be intentional. You can't win if you don't get rebounds. You can't win if you can't play defense. You can't win. You can't win. That's what Raptors fans have to realize right now. We can't get any rebounds. We can't have any kind of defensive seal. There's a wide open door that they can go right down the lane and lay it up, put it in, wherever they want. We can't win. And that's just the damn truth of it. It may be calculated in some ways. It's like, well, they're talking about Jakob be ready for Clippers. I predicted this a week ago. I said, yeah, I hope he's back by the Clipper game. That would be great. And it sounds like he probably will be, which is great. But once again, don't, even if Jakob shows up for the Clipper game, we have him reinforced, we can have somewhat a fight. He in some ways is going to have any help either. Part of the problem is Scotty's a weird, a position. He's really going to do guard stuff. He's going to do all the kind of stuff. But if we really need him to do, this is the thing, when you're big in the NBA, you got to do that job. You got to do that job the whole time. You can't be in other areas of the court doing other things. You've got to be down there fighting in the trenches next to the basket, trying to get the possession of the ball off of rebounds. And, Scotty's got to do all kinds of things right now for us. In some ways, it was better when we had other guys that were big around our team so that he could float around and do the other stuff. But now, in some ways, it's mandatory that Scotty's got to be down there to help whoever's down there because he's just one of our biggest players. And until we fill up the team with more big players again, we're going to lose over and over again. And that may be by design for the rest of the year. Well, let's trade all of our big defensive long arm players. And let's just see if we can win after that. I'm like, you're crazy, Bobby. Why would you do that? Well, you know what? I like to keep my top pick against the Spurs. Well, what are we going to do? We're not going to be able to rebound anything. I'm going to feel bad for these guys because they're going to lose a lot and it's going to be tough on them. Well, in some ways, they got to know that it's the odds are stacked against them. And, they'll be better for going through the toughness of it in the long run because they'll be better players because of it in the end. All right, I guess. I mean, you're the GM, but I mean, it seems like you're kind of putting them in a situation where they just don't have any chance. Yeah, maybe I am. I don't know what the hell is going on. All right, let's check in with your comments. Yeah, the Raptors, we're bad. We just lost to half the Grizzlies team, and it sucks. We did beat, all right, I will say this. We did beat the Grizzlies earlier this month when they had Ja Morant, and we played them excellent, and we kicked their ass. So who are the real Raptors? Well, the Raptors are presently who the Raptors are because we can't go back. We don't have Siakam anymore. But there's a future that is very bright for the Raptors. And that is something that everybody needs to focus on more than the present, exactly as far as the misery of the losing that may happen now. In some ways, it's going to be hard for some people to be around the Raptors or watch the Raptors right now. I get it. I'm wearing a lot of purple today. I get it. But this is necessary for what's going to happen next. This is necessary, and we're going to have to go through it. Canadian Dana's in first, as usual. Good morning, everybody. Well, I was a bit surprised, but hopefully we learned something. On to the next one in a few days. Yeah, we learned something, that it's like you need size to rebound. You need big guys more than just Scotty Barnes, Jonte Porter. Jonte Porter is a waste at this point. He absolutely failed last night, and he was so bad that Darko could not play him for the rest of the game. That's how bad he played in the first 6 minutes of the game. And I feel bad for him. He's a smart kid. He needs to listen and practice this week very, very closely. In some ways, Jonte, we get you're a skilled shooter and passer, but that's not what we need from you right now. No, we need the basic big man stuff. We need you to muscle up. We need you to hold position. We need you to board. We need you to block shots. And in some ways, I don't give a shit about you shooting threes right now. I don't give a shit about you making excellent passes. I want you to do the regular 5-4 work at this point. We just need that. In some ways, you're not doing that at all, which is weird and surprising because on the 905, you did all that shit, bro. You were doing it, and that was part of the reason why 905 wins. Well, now up here, your nuts are chopped on this. You can't do this kind of stuff all of a sudden because the players are bigger, stronger, and better on the level of the NBA. Bro, I was saying you could play in the NBA, but it's looking like you can't because you can't do this simple, basic big man stuff right now. Maybe you need that weight program like Grady Dick to muscle up with Jaren Jackson Jr. and people like that. I don't know. Either way, you were a fail right from the start last night. And this is 2 games in a row you've gotten the hook because you are not playing up to the quality of NBA standards. And that sucks. I know some of it's orientation. I know that some of it's going to be worked out this week at OVO Center in organization and practice and just talking it out and figuring it out. And I know you're a very, very smart young man, and you're going to want to know this as quickly as possible and learn as quickly as possible. So you keep your ears open and you learn as quickly as possible because honestly, we can't play you when you play that bad is what I'm going to say right there. Yeah, we learned something. You know, some things I don't like how Jack Armstrong was kind of saying shit in the middle of the game as far as like, well, if you play this kind of effort and this kind of thing and this kind of thing, this is what's going to happen. I'm like, Jack, don't talk to us like we don't see what exactly is happening here. Just be serious here. You know, coach, that the fundamentals don't allow teams to win if they don't have the basics of size to fight in the rebounding battle. Why wouldn't you just educate the public on that instead of coming down on the Raptor players for their effort? Their effort was there. The effort was good from the Raptors for most of the game. Some of the game, no. Some of the game, no. And a lot of the problems with the Raptors last night was not being connected. And that's what Darko said after the game, that we weren't connected offensively or defensively as far as talking to each other and getting with each other. You know, we worked on this the whole season, and then we got rid of guys, and now we have to do it again. Connection, communicating to be at a professional level to be able to win an NBA game. You know, it's really, really difficult to win the NBA. And if you have newness and people that don't know each other, Bruce Brown did not look like he fit in with everybody last night again. He was just really kind of weird and sticking out. You know, you're going to have these issues. So why not just tell us, Jack Armstrong? The Raptors are losing because they don't have enough size to compete with the other sides. Why can't you just tell the public that? Because that's what it looks like. Well, is that coming down on the front office? Maybe. But I don't think I think that in some ways we're kind of in a weird period where we're not fully completely done with our moves, but we're in a weakened state because we don't have a certain position depth filled. Like that's what I really look at what's going on with us right now. We could be more competitive if we had 2 bigs right now, just like when we had Pascal and OG and Precious around. So it is what it is. It is what it is. On to the next one. That's right. Friday, the Clippers. Nacho the Nacho is here. Yakety yak. Yakety yak. Please come back. Yeah. Yakety yak. Please come back. Yeah, Gerald, I'm with you on this. In some ways, I look at Jakob on the bench, and he's watching everything. He's coming off the court, coming in the dressing room with Scotty, and he's kind of standing behind him with Otto, and they're kind of like patting Scotty on the back. You know, in some ways, listen, Scotty's got to understand this is part of the process. We're going to bottom out. It's in the mud, Scott. We're going to have to get it out of the mud again, and you can be a big part of that. But everything on its own schedule. And in some ways, to do this properly, you're going to have to go through the fire of L's for a little while. And I don't want you to taint yourself or lose focus because of the losing. I know winning is important. You want to win as much as possible, and you will get there. Trust me. But we've got to go through the process properly. And this may be the bottoming out time right now. And everything's going to be rosy and on the way up going after this. But right now, it's going to be confusing. Right now, it's going to be some losing. And in some ways, Scotty, this is some of the best time for you to become the best that you can be. because these are the lessons you need to take to heart. I'm seeing you play at such a high level right now. You're my number one star last night, Scotty Barnes. Amazing game last night by you. Honestly, I'm so proud of you in some ways because honestly, this isn't easy. You guys are going to be doing some stuff and it's going to be really, really hard. But Scotty, in 41 minutes, 22 points, 6 of 14 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 9 for 9 at the free throw line. Very impressive. 12 rebounds, 5 of them offensive, 8 assists, 6 blocks. He did have 5 turnovers, a +2. Not very many pluses on our team last night. And Scotty was one of the only ones. He was a +2. So, Scott, in some ways, you want to gauge yourself, gauge your plus minus. You were out there and you had winning basketball the whole time you were out there. You beat the Memphis Grizzlies by 2 points. I don't like making this an individual thing, but if you really want to compete on a losing team, compete with yourself and say, well, we may be losing, but I want to make sure I have a positive plus minus by the end of the game. Well, you did that last night. And I think that the things that impressed me the most about what you did out there were the blocks. Yeah, those blocks were crazy. You were coming in all over the place, blocking people left and right. They didn't cheat you for any of the blocks last night. None of these were goaltends. None of these were weird, like non-calls or something. No, you did it. You did it. You're a badass. In fact, your shot blocking this year is insane. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. In some ways, you're hearkening to another era, the way you're getting up there and blocking people. In some ways, if you could turn it around and grab the ball in the air and just hold possession without blocking it, you would be Bill Russell. Seriously. That's the kind of shit that Bill Russell used to do in the 60s when the Celtics won every championship that decade almost. He would jump up. He wouldn't block the shot. That's the thing that nobody realizes. And Leo Routens, this is number one tenement of the book of Leo Routens. If you can block the shot without hitting it out of bounds and keep possession, well, you're like Moses Malone. You're like Bill Russell. And that's what I'm saying, Scott. That's the next key. You're getting up there. You're so talented. Just bring it down with you like it's a rebound. You hit it and bring it down and put it in your other hand. Boom, you got possession. And Leo Routens will think you're a god, is what I'll say to that. Yeah, Scotty, you're my first star, and I love you, man. Keep your head up high. Keep playing the way you're playing. I saw your game face. I saw your dedication. I saw the way you work. There are going to be stupid people out there criticizing you today. They're dumb. They don't understand the team and where it's at right now, and that it's unnecessary to criticize Scotty Barnes or RJ Barrett or any of these other guys to full extent, especially Scotty and RJ. Those two guys last night were the only two Raptors that really played at any kind of level that was competitive. The rest of the guys were kind of the whole crew of the rest of them. Second star is RJ Barrett. You know, I thought about putting RJ in the first star because in some ways his stats merit it. But I wanted to give Scotty it because in some ways Scotty was doing some really, really impressive things to me last night. He's amazing, honestly. RJ, 37 minutes, 29 points. 12 of 18. He missed both his three-point shots. He only missed one free throw today. And after the game in the press conference, he said, we've been missing too many free throws, me specifically, and I have to get better. RJ Barrett is a godsend. RJ Barrett, it may become one of my favorite Raptors of all time very soon. And he came from out of nowhere unexpectedly. And in some ways, I'm just in love with RJ Barrett in a Raptors jersey right now. I really am. I really, really am. 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 turnovers, -9, 29 points. Yeah, RJ, man, listen, I love the fact that you carry us on your back offensively. I love when you're going to make your moves. I love how you beat people right at the rim and you lay it in up over them. I love your flips. I love the way you put spin on the ball and it makes it more likely for it to fall in. I love your and ones. I love your and ones. I love what you're doing, man. Just keep doing it, bro. Just keep being you. After the game, they asked him, it's like, have you made any changes since you left the Knicks and came to the Raptors? He said, no, man, I'm just being me. This is what I did there. And I'm doing it here. This is me. This is what I do. And that's what it is. Now, in some ways, this is the crazy thing about RJ and Emmanuel is that they have not oriented themselves in any kind of way. They're just playing loose. They're just playing fluid. They're just playing. They haven't gotten organized yet. We haven't actually come to them and Darko said, this is what I'm going to do with your specific skills, your skill set, and who you are as a person. None of that has happened yet. These guys have just shown up. The ingredients have been thrown on the table, and nobody's cooked the recipe yet. They're just sitting on the table still in the packages, and they still got to open them up and start manipulating them to cook them into the stew. That's one of the things that people don't realize right now about Quickly and Barrett. Same thing with the other new guys too. They're all just packages sitting on the table that haven't even been like prepped for the cook. So that's the thing. Y'all got to realize there's going to be progress and good things coming from that. You already see the amazing offensive boost that Emmanuel and RJ gave us when they showed up. Just imagine when it becomes more on purpose, more like calculated, more like this is Darko's plan for to use this, because some of that is not happening yet. A lot of it is not happening yet. So I'm excited about it. I really am. My third star of the game is Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus is just a godsend, and even in his old age as an NBA player, thank you, Thad. Thank you for just being you. In some ways, there needs to be a Thaddeus Young appreciation day. I'm telling you, 5 for 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 12 points in 26 minutes. In some ways, Thad was just an absolutely necessary person out there. He was fighting, he was clawing, he was doing different things just to try and slow the bigs down. Just a really, really tough task in general. And I appreciate you, Thad, for putting in the good effort in that game. Yeah, I'll go over the rest of the team, but I'm not very impressed with the rest of them. I'm just going to say that. Not very impressed with the rest of them. Trevor J saying, good morning, Raptors family. It was a hard game to watch. Raptors were making it rain with turnovers. Scotty and RJ, the best players on the court last night. Everybody else laid an egg. Yeah, that's pretty apropos. Yeah, the turnovers were absolutely insane. That's one area that the Raptors have done really well with for most of the season, and now all of a sudden it's gone to shit. Turnover city. Really, really, really bad. And that's something that I'm sure Darko's going to talk to them. In some ways, Darko was not as mad about the players and their effort last night as he was after the New York game. I think that he understands that in some ways that this is just the roster build is tough to win with right now. And that at this present moment, until we get these draft picks, until we make a couple move Bruce Brown, maybe, we're not going to have a team that's going to compete correctly at all right now. And the loss of Siakam is a very big felt thing right now with our team. He provided a lot of things, not just things on the offensive end, a lot of things with size, length, and defense and rebounding. And that may be the thing we miss the most about Siakam right now. It's a lot. Trevor's saying when a team beats you with half of their players missing, that should give you some motivation for the next one. That is what happens when you do not play hard. I'm going to say this right now. We can say that they beat us with half their team missing, but in some ways we could say we have our half of our team missing all of a sudden too. That, we had a team a month ago that would look a lot different than the one that showed up last night. And that's a lot different. In some ways, you could say this also, Trevor, that the Grizzlies did a better job with their roster construction because with the injuries that they've had, they have better people to step in and take care of things as far as especially up front. They have depth at their front court positions. They're missing who? Steven Adams, a whole bunch of different people, but they're not lacking up front, obviously, and they're able to do things up at front. Now, this is so important. It's like in medieval days, you needed a moat to protect your castle. And well, if you don't have a center, you don't have a moat. And people can just run right on into your gate and invade your castle. This is a big part of what's happening here right now. We need a moat. We need some sort of deterrence from people to come and get at our basket. So easy. And without a center, without any, seriously, in some ways, that is not a center. In some ways, Jonte is too green and maybe not totally an NBA player yet. And that's all we have for front court. You don't want to count Scott, even though Scott is kind of shadowing that position and doing all that kind of stuff for us on the down low right now, since nobody else is around at this point. And then who else is there off the bench with any kind of size coming in? Chris Boucher is too skinny. There's nobody else. So you've got an old power forward center that's really past his prime. And in some ways, you should not be playing him at center ever. You've got a young guy who just came from the G League, who's barely played 20 games in the NBA, who has, a lot of greenness and inexperience. Then you've got the superstar franchise player who's big, but he should be doing all kinds of other stuff instead of the big stuff down low. And then you've got skinny, longest standing Raptor, Chris Boucher, who we've known for a long, long time. The pluses and negatives about him being a big on our team. So it really is. We have nobody up front at all, and that's the only thing anybody should be blaming our loss last night on. Seriously. In some ways, you can say, okay, well, that's the front office's fault. I could see what you're saying, but in some ways, we got to understand they're not done yet. This is a work in progress, and they're still in the middle of making the changes. We need to see these changes, Messiah and Bobby. The sooner you get us more front court depth, the better off we will be. Now, is your plan not to be better off because you want to retain a pick? Well, that's kind of what Jack Armstrong was saying at the end of the broadcast last night. He said, look, Raptors fans, you can be upset about this win. I mean, for the Grizzlies and us losing, but we win with the draft pick? I mean, Jack literally said it on the broadcast at the end of the game last night. Very open about possibly what the true intentions of the Toronto Raptors team is right now. Very open about it. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey Salsera. Good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. Yesterday was the perfect example of clocking into work and do the bare minimum just to get a check. I have nothing more to add to what's been said. No team chemistry due to constant changes, no effort, low IQ, roster construction is a mess. When Santi Aldama did the too small on Boucher, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I saw that. Santi's a little punk little bitch. Fuck you, Santi Aldama. Yeah, we are too small right now. You guys could do that every time down the court, and it would be apropos. If they all scored their baskets and they just turned to Bobby Webster in the corner and went like this, I think the message would get across to him that we're too small. Yeah, we are too small right now, Santi. Yeah, tell us something we don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, he's just being helpful. He's trying to help the GM know what's wrong with our team. Too small. Oh, thank you, Santi. What a saint. Thank you, Santi. Is that stand for Sainty? Saint Aldama for being so nice and kind to point out to the Raptors team that we're too small and that we need a bigger roster construction. Wow, what a nice guy. Letting us know that. Well, very, very kind. You know, no team chemistry is a big, big part of it. Those are the two right there. Not big enough. No team chemistry. Right there. Boom. Right there. I don't think this is exactly what you're saying in your first statement, though. An example of clocking in to work and do the bare minimum. These guys were not doing the bare minimum. In fact, you guys got to understand they worked their ass off last night on the down low. Y'all don't even realize that. They were busting their ass, getting on the floor, going after loose balls. You saw old ass Thad Young on the ground going after balls like he was in his 20s. You saw Chris Boucher fighting against 4 other players on the other team for rebounds. These guys were busting their ass. Let's just put it that way. And I don't think it's fair to say that they just cruise control in this game because that's not what the problem was. They were fighting. They were working hard. Scotty was all over the place, running, busting his ass, trying to play amazing defense with not a lot of help around him. You know, I don't want everybody to think that they were lazy last night because that is not true. It's just that they couldn't match up in chemistry or in size-wise with that team they were playing. That's it. Yeah. Dana's saying, I heard a rumor that Boucher is next to go to the Celtics. I hate all these speculations and rumors. Yeah, just fuck them. Fuck all that shit. You don't need to listen to that, Dana. Once again, we only wait for Woj. We wait for Woj. When Woj says something, then we react to it. Otherwise, it's all just dumb noise that's just floating around out there and everything. And I'll believe it when I see it, is basically how I feel about things these days. Because there's just so much bullshit out there. And a lot of it is not reality. And, you know, who knows if that actually will happen, but I don't want it to happen. And as long as it's a rumor, we don't have to listen to it. Wait and see if Adrian says anything. Then we talk about it. But yeah, I would hate that. I would absolutely hate that if that happened. Greg is here. Good to see the Gubstown Clink. Greggy has been putting out a lot of stuff lately. In fact, he's got a piece out in the last couple of days on Bruce Brown Jr. and his possibilities and stuff. So Jeff, definitely check out the Gubstown Clink and give him a follow and a subscribe and check out his excellent content. Morning, everyone. We managed to get the stops we needed until the third and fourth. Just missed the buckets. Some great passes in the paint, though, especially Scotty and Thad ones late. Thad will be ready next time. I like this. You know, you're reminding me of some of the cool stuff that happened last night. You know, this is true. We may have played disoriented and not together and loose for a lot of the first half, but in the third quarter, we kind of reined it in and we started to close the gap. This was something that I felt very positive about by the end of the game, and it separates this game from the New York route, is that it didn't get worse and worse as the game went on till the end. We actually had some pride and we closed the gap to only lose by 8 points. Now, I'm proud of that. Some people will be like, well, we still lost. But you've got to understand, it's all baby steps, it's all progress. And showing a fight and getting in these situations to fight and try and close the gap by the end of the game is really good. It's a really good sign. We may not have the size and the connectiveness and certain things for our team to win right now, but if we show a spirit and a effort and a trying to win, and even if we just have a section of a quarter where we hold the team well defensively and we score well, these are all good positive trends and signs. And this is what we need to look to. And Greg's right. Later in the game, we had some really good stops, and that was good. And also the passing was immaculate between Thad and Scotty. I love what Thad said after the game about his relationship with Scotty. He said some of the most glowing things about Scott. And you know what? Thad made the interview last night that put a lot of things to rest. If anybody was worried about Scotty not listening to Thad Young, I don't anymore, because Thad told us straight up that he listens so well, that he is so intensely a teammate that is learning and taking it all in. He does not reject leadership. He does not reject people telling him what to do. He's all about it. And that Thaddeus says that, like, this kid is fast tracking. He's one of the smartest players he's ever been around, and he knows the game really well. And I love the things that Thad said about him, because it clears a lot of air up. People saw the disagreement between Thad and Scotty at halftime in a couple years ago, and they've wondered about that relationship. Well, Thad made it very clear after the game. We just don't hear Thad in after game interviews very often. And having him come out there and profess and tell the truth about Scotty and how he learns on this team was awesome. He said so many complimentary things about Scotty, and I love it. That's the thing. And I totally get it now. These guys really are like a tribal elder council of tribal elders on the team for Scotty in guidance and help. Otto, Garrett, and Thad. And thank you, Thad, for illuminating things a little bit better in the post-game press conference about what's going on our team with learning and the youngsters, because you very eloquently said exactly what's going on behind the scenes. And now I really love to hear what you're saying, and such glowing words about Scotty Barnes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, those passes were nice. I love the little synergy between Thad and Scott, the trust that Scotty finds Thad with such a beautiful little wraparound pass right in the lane, and Thad's got a dunk. Thaddeus is a great passer, and Scotty's probably learning from him a little bit. But Scotty already had that inherently in him to a degree also. So it's really good. There's a lot of positives going on, even if we just lost a humiliating loss to half of a Grizzlies team. Carlos saying, morning. I just hope these games show the front office we need to replenish our core forwards and a third big. That solves most of our problems. I agree. In some ways, it'll be interesting to see us play against the Clippers for the second time this season with Jakob in the lineup, but without Siakam and with the disorderness. Will we be able to figure out how to beat the Clippers on Friday night in our current situation, even without a whole bunch of bigs? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to get all bent out of shape if we don't, because in some ways, well, did you just see what the Clippers did to the Nets this weekend? So we've got to understand that we're not totally a team. We're like Glass Joe and Punch Out right now. We really are. If we're going to fight the other boxers and Mike Tyson's Punch Out, we're going to get our ass beat. It could very well be the Clippers are ball bull, second ball bull, not the first ball bull, second ball bull on world circuit. And yeah, that's the thing. We're going to be going against, what I'm talking about if you played that game, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and we're going to be Glass Joe. It's going to be easy to knock us out. Well, we got to up our game again and become a stronger fighter. And we will. We will. Yeah, I agree, Carla. Front office, your move is kind of next at this point. Other than Jakob coming back healthy, hopefully for Friday, we could see some big changes and help with Jakob being out there for sure. In some ways, Jakob's probably like, oh, crap, I got to do this again where I'm absolutely the biggest guy, strongest guy out there, and everything's going to be on my shoulders. I don't have Anunoby. I don't have Pascal backing me up no more. Yeah, he's going to have a bigger work burden for sure. Pirtle, when he comes back, he's going to have a bigger work burden. That's for sure. Yeah. Carlos saying if we can get a budget, Pascal and OG somewhere. Yeah, that's the point of what we do, right? That's kind of what we did with Norman. We flipped him for Gary, and it was like getting a budget Norman Powell when he was about to get paid. And in some ways, this is actually what we should do. Is now that Siakam and Anunoby are gone, we're in this weird lurch period where we haven't got the replacement cheaper versions of them. Carlo's exactly right. This is in our MO. We've done this over and over again throughout the Masai Ujiri tenure of running this team, is to bring the replacement players in, but it's just we're in a lurch in between getting those players that come to replace those guys. Some of those players may be draft picks in this year's draft. Some of those players may be trade acquisitions before the deadline still in the next couple weeks. Some of them may not come until the offseason. So Raptors fans, once again, we don't live on the moon. Masai and Bobby know what's best with timing and moves and stuff. We got to let them live on the moon and do moon stuff in secrecy without us knowing what they do. And in some ways, when we hear the news of what they did up on the moon, hopefully it'll be good news and we'll be getting to better places. But it could very well be there's a secret plot on the moon base to let our team lose for a while just so we retain our pick from the Yaka Pirtle trade. I mean, it does seem like that's part of what's going on. Trevor J saying NBA Chev said we should trade the bench twice, bring them back and trade them again. It's like just renewal. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not impressed with this group, though. I don't think that this present group is any kind of group we want to have for any long term. We definitely need new players coming in, and some of the players we've got right now need to go. And they're not the ones we've had for a while. They're newer players that need to go. And there's one in particular whose initials are BB. Yeah, they need to go. Let's see. Cowboys saying, good morning, Lex. Bam, Raptor Freaks. Everyone trust the process. Rely on Masai. We're just going to one step back to go 2 steps forward. Let's go, Raptors. You know, Cowboy, I'm giving you an alley-oop because you're always giving everybody so many alley-oops, and I love what you just said because that is the right head on the shoulders of a Raptors fan right now is trust the process, rely on Masai, trust Bobby, and just allow them to do their jobs, and that things are going to get better. He's saying we got 1 step back. We're going to have 2 steps forward. And I believe what Bradley's saying is exactly correct. Jimmy's saying team guard anything in the paint. Rotations still don't make sense to me. Some of these combos have me perplexed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't totally understand the lineups. I don't like the small lineups. I don't like that somehow Darko has glasses or something on that has the vision that Bruce Brown is a forward, that he's a front court player. I don't know. Maybe other teams have liked playing Bruce Brown as a front court player, but I don't. I don't like it. Is this a kind of idea that Bobby had? You know, we could tank with Bruce Brown as our power forward. Yeah, we could, couldn't we? Let's just play Bruce Brown at power forward for the rest of the year. And boy, we'll have our pick, our top 6 pick. Oh, yeah, we will. I mean, shit, if we do so bad, we could end up getting the top 3 pick. This is the thing people don't even realize in some ways is that it's not just the top 6 pick. We're in the lottery. And if we're in the lottery and that lottery ball falls a certain way, we could have a top 3 pick. You know, it's that's the other thing about this that's crazy. If it's any pick above 6, we retain it. And that's the thing. We could be the worst team in the league by the end of the year. I don't know how we'll do that with Pistons being so bad right now. But if we're one of the bottom 3, we'll have a better chance to totally retain our pick. That's for sure. I don't know. We just got to keep it in a no-lose scenario, no matter what. This year's a wash. It's a write-off. We're in training camp this week. They're going to training camp. This is training camp day number 1, January 23rd, in the middle of the fucking season. Well, we might as well write off the whole season and make sure we do things the right way. Bruce Brown is our power forward. Yeah. Tell me we're not trying to lose on purpose. Tell me that we aren't, Bobby. Tell me we aren't, Masai, because that is what it seems like. It does really seem like that. Let's see. Carlos saying it's because of a lot of uncertainty at the trade deadline. A lot of the players, except from Barbecue, has mailed it in. Okay, yeah. I don't know if they're mailing it in. I think it's just unfamiliarity. I think that Bruce Brown's trying. It's just that he's not in the right spots where they need to look for him. He's not catching the ball in the right way. He's not, in some ways, he doesn't understand totally what to do on the court with the team that he's on right now. So I don't know. I don't like these that you guys are saying they're mailing it in. They may have mailed it in New York. That is the only game where I saw that they did not put the right effort in. This game last night is not like that totally. It's just that it doesn't add up to winning the formula of what we got right now. Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy, your point about the team not being able to guard anything in the paint is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And it's a huge problem. Nako's saying we're going to have to wait till next season for the team to have a good cohesion. Darko needs to find a good system, and his pieces are changing this season. The pieces changed already this season. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? In some ways, we really are looking to the future and some of the things they're saying. And Darko was really ecstatic and enthusiastic talking about the summer plans for RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, that he has programs for these guys figured out. In fact, this is part of the thing that people need to realize. Darko has plans for Scott that are like 5 years away from now. That he has a vision of what Scotty Barnes could be in this league at highest potential, and he's going to help him try and unlock it and get there. If he did stuff like he did with Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, Zaire Williams, he can do something with Scotty to unlock him to a crazy level. Because those guys, Desmond Bane, you see where he's at with his career. Well, you didn't because he was hurt last night. But you see where he was supposed to be and where he is, and he's really way further than he should be as a player. And Scotty, he should be a very good player already. He's a top 4 pick. But this is the thing. If he's really anxious to be his full potential, he has a coach that understands him and is helping him develop and grow to his full potential, then look out. And that's part of the more exciting things. In some ways, Scotty can't be hung up on wins and losses with a team. Sure, he hates losing. He doesn't want to lose. But what he should be gauging everything by is his own personal growth as a player and some of the stuff that he does this offseason. I'm excited for Darko to give the programs to RJ, Emmanuel, and Scotty for the season, offseason, and what they're going to train for and the new skills they're going to add and the new dimensions to their game they're going to have when they come back next year. And that every summer, it's like he has a plan already sketched out for Scotty Barnes for the next 3 summers of adding on more and more stuff. And there's very specific skills. There's skills like what Giannis does. He's going to try and get him to be having more and more offensive powers and being better and better. And Scotty is going to eat it up. Scotty loves that. I mean, he has to, because there's the only way he did what he did this season with the leap from last offseason is that he really put his nose to the grindstone and busted his ass last summer with his shooting, his conditioning, and all kinds of stuff. Well, that's the thing. He's going to eat it up. It's like Darko said, yeah, if you do this. And some of the stuff that he did last summer was because Darko told him already. So he can see some of the results because Darko got hired. He probably came in and said, these are the kind of things I want you to work on for next year. And boom, he probably saw results right away. So there's a real trust and honor between Darko and Scotty right now because Darko is believed in by Barnes. That Barnes can see already results from Darko's instruction on how he's developing. So he's bought in and believes in his coach. And that's going to be one of the fun things about this summer is the program that Darko gives to Scotty and how it unlocks him even further for next season. In some ways, if you guys want something to feel good about and positive about, well, listen to what I just told you. Yeah. Carlos saying, yep, this is what rebuild basketball looks like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, reset. I'm going to call it reset. Because it is really like we took our Nintendo and just hit the reset button. Maybe the game frizzed out. You're like, damn it. It messed up. We'll take the cartridge out, blow in it, put it back, and then reset it. Okay. All right. We're resetting it. Jimmy's saying this is the whole collective issue. Ain't no way we should have lost this game. We didn't even look competitive. Yeah, there is a way we lose it. I'm telling you this right now. Listen, Jimmy, if you go down to the gym and you have 2 kids, you have 2 classes of kids, and they're from middle school. And one school has got the 6th graders. The 6th graders have not hit puberty or had a growth spurt. And then you got the 7th graders who have, and they're only a year older. And these kids are actually taller and bigger than the 6th graders. When they get on the court, the 7th graders are going to kick the 6th graders' ass because they have more size, because they're bigger, because they can go get the rebounds, because they're stronger than the other kids. This is basically what happened to us. It has nothing to do with whether we're a better team or not. It has to do with basic basketball principles. You need big people to rebound. You need big people to defend. And we ain't got that. We ain't got that. Without Jakob is like the big, huge moat around our castle. And when you ain't got that, they're storming the castle. They're storming the castle. You can't do jack shit about it. Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy's saying, yep, Lex, I lost all passion for this team this season. Well, that's no good. I mean, I maybe you lose passion for the season, but don't lose passion for the team. In some ways, you can put the passion for the team to the side for a little while. I always say there's a door in there. It's there, and you can go through it at any time. None of this is mandatory for the whole entire time. I'm crazy. I'm going to do this every day still. In some ways, that's torturous. In some ways, I'm a masochist. But you guys always have the option. If you want to check out for a little bit, if you need to check out for the rest of the season, Jimmy Pope, I won't be mad at you. You're the Pope of positivity. I love you. And when you're ready to come back and be back in the chat and say, hey, we're going to talk about this every day still, I'm all about it. If you want to stay with us, I'm not telling you to go away either. I'm just saying, if your heart isn't into being so intertwined with the Raptors and their ride right now, you can go for just a little bit. And I won't be mad at you. And I won't judge you either, because this isn't easy. In some ways, I know everybody's busy and they don't have a lot of time. And you got to do things with your life. And in some ways, you don't want to be dragged down by the losing of the Raptors right now. And in some ways, you need to be like loose and free to be able to have a happy life right now. I get it. I get it. And I will never look down on anybody who takes a break from watching the Raptors just because they are just like, I don't want to watch this edition right now. I would never get mad at them. I know that everybody who frequents my channel is a true passion for the team. And that, listen, that's hard at times. It's a long, grueling, like 365 days a year kind of thing. And you know what? Everybody sometimes needs a break. And, you do what you got to do, Jimmy. You do what you got to do. In some ways, I already figured out that you're probably going to be here anyway. You're going to be here still. I love you. And I'm glad you patronize this channel all the time. Let's see. G saying, when you don't want to pay players and have a similar payroll to the Pistons next season, build a young team like the Pistons, you look like the Pistons. I trust Masai as a plan with the picks and the trades. Well, we just got to be very smart in the front office. We need to be astute. We need to think about fit. We need to think about deficiencies on the team that we need to make up for. And, well, if they do it right, they can do it right. It's just right now they've left us with a glaring weakness, a huge glaring weakness. And we are very, very, very easy to beat right now. In some ways, it's not even about like playing well or playing hard. It's just that we have a huge Achilles heel that is easy to exploit. And teams are just going to do that every time we play them. If they don't, then they're not coached right. If teams are not taking us inside and dominating the paint and the boards on us right now, well, fire that coach, because they're not taking advantage of the very easy weakness that the Raptors have right now, which is we have no size whatsoever. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. We're rebuilding. I just want to see Barbecue and Grady build chemistry. Yeah, we're seeing bits and signs of it. I love it. Grady is going to get time out there. It's great for his confidence to hit a couple of threes in the Mecca in Madison Square Garden on Saturday night. That's the big stage. It's like they say, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, Grady Dick. So if you're going to go out and on the big stage, the bright lights, all this Hollywood stars sitting at courtside, Tracy Morgan's here. You can make a three in front of Tracy Morgan. You can play in the NBA, Grady Dick. That's what I'm going to say right now. You really have won my confidence back with you in the last couple weeks since you've been on this stint with the Raptors recently. I'm proud of you, Grady. Keep going in the direction you're going. Hopefully you can maybe play tomorrow against the Denver Nuggets G League team. It's an afternoon game, by the way, guys. We'll have G League action tomorrow during the day against the Gold. Yeah, and also tomorrow's going to be fun. We're going to do a new segment for the first time ever on this channel, Wild Card Wednesday. And it's going to be a card opening show. And just we'll have a random subject that we'll talk about. I'll do a preview for the G League game. But also, it's going to be all about Wild Card Wednesday. It's going to be the biggest, the newest thing on this channel is the new segment, Wild Card Wednesday. I'm going to open basketball packs on the show tomorrow. It's going to be like a box opening. And I'm going to talk about the cards I get. And then we're also going to have some sort of a wild card subject from the world of the Raptors that's going on at the moment. Thursday Think Tank on Thursday this week, since we have a couple days off in a row. This is going to be the first ever Thursday Think Tank call-in show. I will have a phone number for members of this channel that they'll have access to it. If you're a member of this channel, your name is in green. You will be able to see the phone number on the community tab, and you'll be able to call me during the call-in show, and we will do live discussion about our Thursday think tank subject through the calls on the show. So 2 new formats coming up in the next couple days on this channel. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. So Wildcard Wednesday is going to be the new segment all summer coming up this summer, Wildcard Wednesday, and the new call-in Thursday think tank. So I hope that'll excite you guys about the changes coming to this channel coming up in the next 2 days. So definitely check out the first ever Wildcard Wednesday tomorrow, and also the Thursday Think Tank new format. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm all about seeing the chemistry of the Dick barbecue get better. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right recipe though. I mean, I love that spicy barbecue recipe. It seemed like that spicy barbecue recipe is just so good. But now it's gone. The spice is gone. And man, the flavoring is not the same without the spiciness of Siakam. Oh man, it sucks. Carlos saying, yeah, hopefully this deadline will bring in young players. Really don't want them picks. Yeah, I don't think Masai does either, Carlo. He's very much made it clear. It's like, yeah, don't expect me to take all these picks. I'm probably going to consolidate them and draft up. I could see him putting the all 3 of the later round picks, the first pick in the second draft and the 2 later round first picks, and putting them all together and maybe trading for a top 10 pick or maybe a top 15 pick or something like that. Maybe trading up in that kind of way. Or maybe you take those picks and you trade them and you get a backup center, something like that. Masai and Bobby, whatever creativity you can do to help shore up this team and make it right, that'd be great. Now, if you're leaving us in a lurch like this on purpose for very purposeful things, well, you and your stealth tank. In some ways, the stealth tank worked in Tampa, and it was really not totally sure if you were stealth tanking. This time, I'm pretty sure you're tanking, and it's not so stealth. I don't think it's so stealth this time. No, it isn't. Cool Cat saying the refs were not interested in the game. Refs said WWE time. Laugh out loud. In Spaces, some folks that call for a reset now complaining about the ugly play. Yeah, ridiculous. You people will never be happy. These people are stupid. They don't understand what you get is what you get. You ask for things, and this is what you get. No, the refs were bad last night. There was definitely ref manipulation in this game last night. There was some really bad ref manipulation. Really, really bad ref manipulation. And I'm not remembering exactly some of the moments right this moment. Let me go and look at our Facebook chat. That'll probably tell me the times because I wrote them in last night. Let me just look at what I was saying during the game last night because I wrote a lot in the game, and it's kind of good notes actually during the game. All right, I might just read my notes for a little bit during the game for a bit here. All right, first of all, let's say pretty whack start. Other than the play Gary set up for Scott, annoyed with Jonte. Yeah, that first play in the game was really awesome. The play action with Gary to Scotty, that was beautiful. And Scotty getting the first points of the game on the inside from a pass from Scary was fantastic. I love the way that the game opened like that. The missed free throw that was not rebounded properly is horrible. This happened twice in the game where we were at the Grizzlies were at the line. They made their first free throw, and then they missed it. And we were so bad at rebounding as our team now that they got the offensive rebound, and it would turn into like a 4-point or a 3-point possession because they get the first free throw. They miss the second free throw, the Grizzlies. Then we wouldn't be able to defensive rebound the free throw line. And they would get the ball back, and then they'd score a basket. And I was like, that is a fail, 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 fail. Do you see how often the other team that's shooting the free throw gets the rebound off of the rebound in the free throw stuff? No, not often. The defensive team usually boxes out and guards so well that they get that rebound secured, and it's just a free throw miss, and the other team gets it. No, this is the part of the problem with what our team is right now, is we're so inept at rebounding, and Jonte in particular at the beginning of the game last night, that we couldn't rebound off the free throw line. The offensive rebound came off of it, and they're getting points off that way. That's absolutely despicably horrible. Horrible. And that is an indicator that we have no rebounders. Jonte, you got to box out, bro. If that ball's going up there, you need to get that rebound because you're the defender and they're the offensive team, and you do not need to let them get more points on the possession because you missed the rebound off of the missed free throw. That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. And they better be fucking watching that this morning on the tape. Yeah. Let's see. Also, somebody other than Scotty needs to score ASAP. Yeah, in the beginning, Scotty was the only one who could score at all. And we were stuck on 2 points for a long time. We need to get Yak back ASAP. RJ is awesome. I love that pass up court from IQ. There was some good looking up the court by Emmanuel for a bit there. Scotty was defensive center for a bit. Yeah, there was some point where Thad wasn't in and Jonte was out, and they were trying to run a small lineup with Scotty, and he had to absolutely play the center. Now, he was playing Triple J most of the game last night, and with varied success. Triple J was the best player on the court. I have to rescind my comments yesterday. I said, I hope our 3 superstars are better than him. Well, he was the best player on the court last night, by far. A two-way player, Jaren Jackson Jr., dominating at both ends. Absolutely dominated both ends. And I thought the Raptors were doing something smart by getting him in foul trouble. They get him 4 fouls, and he has to sit for most of the third quarter, but we didn't capitalize on that. We did not capitalize that. And if y'all did that on purpose, going at him to get him in foul trouble, that's a good sign of something, that you guys are actually cerebrally thinking, okay, this guy's in foul trouble. We need to go at him. That's the smart part of the game that I feel like's lost more and more as time goes on. Is like recognize that their top player has foul trouble, go at him and get him in foul trouble and get him out of the game. But you can do that, have that opportunity, and then you don't capitalize it because you don't do anything while he's out to come up and beat the team. See, there's a problem there. There's a problem there. Yeah, the turnover battle was really crazy because both teams were ugly. Both teams were turning the ball over back and forth, and it was an ugly-ass game. It was a very ugly game for a while there in the middle there. Let's see. At least it's fun, if not inspiring confidence. It's a little bit fun. The game was really sloppy play, but I think this is a completely new team. They're really showing that. I'm annoyed with Jonte and Bruce. Triple J is killing us at both ends. That was a blatant take foul. What the hell? James Williams, you fucker. Okay, this is the play where the ball was heading down court, and Scotty's fast enough to sprint down the court and collect the ball and slam it. What happened was Jaren Jackson Jr. grabbed his arm and stopped him from running down the court. James Williams got blind to that. You saw Jaren Jackson impede Scotty from full-on sprinting down to get the ball before it went out of bounds. It wouldn't have gone out of bounds if Jaren Jackson Jr. had not grabbed the arm of Scott and held him from running down the court to get it. Y'all did not call a take foul. You called out of bounds and gave the ball to Grizzlies. That's a huge ref manipulation. The ball should have been our possession with 2 free throws and our possession because that was a take foul. In some ways, the refs would probably argue, well, there was no possession of the ball. Yeah, but you can't impede the player from having a chance to go get the ball by grabbing their arm. That is a foul. And in the scheme of things, in some ways, you would have probably called a take foul for other teams, but you did not for us, James Williams. You conveniently ignored the fact that Jaren Jackson Jr. grabbed the shoulder of Scotty Barnes when that ball was going out of bounds. He is fast enough to go get that ball before it goes out. And you did not call that correctly. That was a huge ref manipulation right there. They were manipulating the transition game last night. They very much were. There was an offensive foul against the Raptors that hurt us at a key moment. There was other stuff where they were really impeding our ability to get out and run. I didn't think they cared about this game. But for some reason, James Williams and the NBA cared about us and sewering the fuck out of us. Because they did not, as much as we have all our deficiencies and problems, we probably would have lost anyway, but they made sure too. And you didn't even have to do that, James Williams. You could have just let the game be played normal without cheating, and we would have lost probably anyway. But you even blatantly cheated during the game with ref manipulations also. You're fucks. You're fucks. You really want to bury the Raptors franchise, don't y'all, NBA? You really, really want to bury us. Fucking put us so far on the ground. We're going to come back up. Y'all can't keep us down. You can't keep a good team down, motherfuckers. Yeah, you're going to come. It's going to come back up on the shoulders of Scotty Barnes. You're going to see someday. Yeah, you didn't even need to rep manipulate that game last night. You really seriously didn't. But they did. They did. They came in and did unfair ass shit in the game last night. James Williams in particular. Fuck you, James Williams, you fucker. Yeah, it was totally a ref manipulation on that call. James Williams is very sus. I love the spark Dennis set in the game, though that steal was awesome to Scotty. There was a point where Dennis came in the game. He got a steal and he gave it to Scotty for a big dunk. And that was a beautiful play. In some ways, Dennis was okay. A lot of the players were not good off the bench, but Dennis was He wasn't super good. He was a -15, which is the worst plus minus on our team, which is not a good indicator. 3 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 4 for 4 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 11 points. Dennis was one of the few guys in double digits. We had Scotty, RJ, Thad, and Dennis in double digits, and that is it across the boards. Jonte, 0. Grady Dick, 0. 5 points for Chris Boucher, 6 points for Gary Trent, 7 points for Bruce Brown, 8 points for Emmanuel Quickley. I'm telling you, we didn't get hardly any point production from our team. We were having a hard time scoring. Really, really bad. Bruce Brown hitting a shot. Love the Jack call on it. Yeah, they called him Downtown Bruce Brown, and that was pretty cool. Scotty Barnes at one point was matched up with Gilliard, the little guy. I didn't realize there was another Marquise Noel kind of guy in the league right now, and it looks like the G Leaguer two-way for the Memphis Grizzlies. That Gilliard guy looks like he's about Marquise's height. At one point in the game, Scotty got him in the post, and it was awesome. It's like that is a big size mismatch when Scotty Barnes is posting up on that little Gilliard guard, the backup guard on the other side. That was interesting. Scotty's very serious last night. Yeah, he was very serious. I like how his hair was tied up, and he looked like he was going to war, and he was super serious last night. There's a couple of things Scotty's doing different on the court that are much better. The way he interacts with the refs is way better. He's not as complaining to them, but he is getting in their faces and talking to them. I love the RJ Barrett technical. It was rightfully so, and it was so well timed that it hurt their transition game. It was awesome. In fact, they talked about it in the broadcast. Matt and Jack were saying, well, why don't teams get a technical on purpose after a score or after a play like that to hurt a team's transition game? Well, you're right. And teams have utilized this as a weapon in the past. This is not the first time I've seen a team do that, where a technical foul was got on purpose just to hurt the other team getting a transition quick basket. That was awesome. In some ways, RJ, if you're going to get a technical like that, perfect timing, my man. Perfect timing, because it totally killed a fast break opportunity for them. That was awesome. See, that's how you can rep manipulate or even technical manipulate fast break tech transition games. Yeah, it was really fun. I love that technical by RJ. It was the best paid money right there, I would say. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. This is a test. Brown really annoys me. He traveled bad. There was one point where Brown threw the ball up in the air and then caught it himself, and nobody called anything. In some ways, the refs are sleeping. In some ways, the refs are not calling half of anything at this point. They said they want to just let him play. As Cool Cat said, it's like WWE. Just let him go out there and play. I get that. And especially with a game where we have such a size disadvantage, we're in big trouble. Because in some ways, we need those fouls to help us out because we're smaller. And, it's just, it's so annoying in some ways when the refs swallow the whistle and there's some really egregious plays, even the ones that are for us, and they don't call them. Like, I'm like, Bruce Brown just traveled. Okay, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. The refs are asleep at the wheel. They're not going to call shit. They're not going to call shit. They're not going to call fouls. They're not going to call travels. They're going to let a whole bunch of calls go by them, and they're not going to do shit. It's really crazy. Let's see. What else did I notice in the game right now? Let's see. I hate seeing Chris fight so hard for boards with no backup. He's in there getting them and getting stripped with no backup. Dennis has been huge in this game. Yeah, Dennis had some important times during the game where he did important things to keep us going. Scotty's being a big bad man in this game. RJ's solid. Grady has looked okay. Yeah, Scotty was really dominant in a lot of different ways and different things. At the end of the half, he was being the man. He blocked Jaren Jackson Jr. Luke Kennard was a real problem last night. Emmanuel Quickley had 5 turnovers at halftime last night. That's no good. That's no good. We were winning the rebound battle at the halftime, 25-21, but we lost it by the end of the game by 2. We got 16 of our 25 assists in the first half, but we ended up getting 31 at the end of the game, so that's pretty good. We were shooting well from the 3 last night, which was nice. I like where Scotty was shooting most of his shots in the game last night. He was doing kind of Kawhi kind of stuff at times. Yeah, the newness and the lack of size is a problem. Really is a problem. One of the things I noticed about last night was TSN was covering the game very positively. They were talking up the Raptors. They weren't kind of like kicking them while they're down, even though they're in a bad place. They're trying to give a positive spin. And I started thinking TSN and Sportsnet, the way they go at the games is very opposite. In some ways, it's like a yin yang. It's like TSN's the positive channel and our Rogers is like the negative channel. Like, I've noticed this. The Sportsnet is very, very negative in their coverage of the Raptors, but TSN's being more positive about them. In some ways, I like that counterbalance without Rodgers being involved. If we could just have TSN just do all the games, that would be great. We get Rodgers out of ownership and coverage of the Raptors. That would be great because TSN has a much better broadcast product than the Rodgers product. In some ways, I love Alvin, but it's not Alvin Williams. It's everything else around it that is not good. Savannah's fine too, but TSN's just by far way, 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 way better. Way, way, way better. The crowd was very quiet. It was a weird Monday night crowd in the Scotiabank Arena and not very active. In some ways, they needed the team to pep them up, and at times they did. They got a little bit loud at the end with defense chants, and that was helpful. But for the most part, it was a Monday crowd that is very lackadaisical and kind of lethargic. Not a very good crowd for helping the team in certain ways. Yeah. Let's see. All right, let me keep going with the chat in the comments. Stargate is saying, not worried about the losses nor the record. I'm worried about the precedent being set here. My concern is the culture and the mindset, especially with young players. Losing is contagious mentally. Losing is a natural part of competition. Losing is not contagious. Not as a mentality. No, it isn't. Shooting bad is contagious. Missing free throws can be contagious, but not a losing mentality. It's not contagious. It's just not allowed around our team. In some ways, this can be a problem more with other cultures and other teams, but not here. Masai ain't having it. Masai and Bobby will get rid of guys that do not come with the correct kind of attitude about winning. Now, we can lose a lot of games and still have a winning culture intact. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. It's about your preparation. It's about how you conduct yourself as a professional. It's about the work you put in and day out, and it doesn't change whether you win or lose. So I get what you're saying, and I would worry about this to a degree, but not with people like Scotty, RJ, Darko, and Masai. Those guys are winners, and those guys understand what it takes to win, and they're going to get better and better at winning going forward in the future. It's just right now it's going to be like this. But yeah, I wouldn't say this. It's not totally true. In some ways, you're going to lose in certain editions of your team, but that doesn't mean that it's contagious or it's going to be that in your mentality or you just become a loser for the rest of your life. No, that's not how it works. These guys are winners. They do winning things in their everyday preparation. It doesn't matter what happens in the NBA games. Smooth saying 100% voice of reason. Hope Raptors Nation can understand these words. Yeah, anybody who, like, seriously, if you're seeing really crazy out of pocket fans, maybe they're younger, maybe they're just newer, send them to me. Seriously. This is the place where reason and reality and talking about the situation for the best for us happens. Everybody else can chicken little and panic and get crazy, but y'all are stupid. Y'all cried out for trading people like Fred and Pascal for so long. Did you not realize this is what was happening if you lose all these great players that the Raptors have had on our teams for a couple of years? Did you not realize that this is what would happen? So everybody's mystified or upset that we're losing all of a sudden, and you had a part in saying that we need to rebuild our team. You're idiots. You're idiots. You get what you asked for, motherfuckers. And if you ask for a rebuild, this is what a rebuild is, you dumbasses. So get with the program and understand we're going to lose now for a bit. You cried out for it so bad, you got it. And now you don't want it? You idiots. You'll never be happy with anything. And yes, send them to me, please. Smooth Brown Man, send them to me. Tell them the Raptor Streak exists and send them to me to YouTube. And hopefully we can educate because they need education. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of Raptors fans out there that need an education on the reality and the truth of what the NBA and basketball is all about. I don't think they understand that you need rebounders. You need size to win. And if you ain't going to have that, you ain't going to win. That's just how it is. Jimmy's saying at the end of the day, losing is whatever, but there should still be those other intangibles that we can control. Some things we should be doing no matter what. Darko ain't impressing me. Sorry. Listen, this is part of the byproduct of this crazy ass time and the confusion is y'all are going to go after him. I'm hearing people saying he shouldn't even be coaching high school. Y'all are wrong. First of all, y'all are fucked up when you say stuff like that. You got to give this guy a chance. Once again, that's a microwave culture kind of opinion already. It's not like you can gauge your opinion about Darko on what is happening with this team right now. You really can't. This team is all messed up. It's been messed up the whole time. In fact, Darko is doing a pretty good job considering the crazy ass roller coaster this whole entire season has been. And in some ways, y'all cannot be like, I want to wash my hands of him, get rid of him already. Do you understand that this process starts over every single time? And there's losing at the beginning of it every single time. I don't think that Raptors fans that are so quick to change things so quickly understand that when you reset every time, you have to start over and you lose again. And you know what? We're building with him already, and it's good. Trust me, he's good. I know the indicators to look for with the coach, and he's a fantastic coach. Trust me. He's a fantastic coach. He gets good motivation out of his players, whether they're winning or losing. He has an excellent offensive system that has a lot of really good things for the future. Has stuff that people are going to look at and they'll be like, wow, the Raptors offense is beautiful. There's a lot of good things about Darko, and y'all need to respect him and not be like, I'm not impressed with him. I don't think he's very good. Well, y'all are not gauging him in the right, proper kind of context. You can't gauge him by the wins and losses right now. You got to gauge him on whether the players buy in and whether they play hard. You got to gauge him by the sets that you see on the court as far as the playmaking and the ideas that he's putting forth, but by giving the team instruction. You got to gauge him by his passion and whether he's effective with the referees, whether he's effective when he calls timeouts. All of this stuff he's getting A-pluses from me on. It may not be that we're adding up to winning or good things that are happening right now, but this coach is damn good, y'all. In fact, most people in this league would like to have this coach their team. And you may think that he's a bad coach, and you can have all kinds of reasons why you think he's a bad coach, but you don't understand this whole process of switching coaches and how long this takes to take and get set. In some ways, this year, as I said, is a wash. There's no judgment of players like RJ, Scotty, Emmanuel, no judgment of our coach. In some ways, judge the front office a little bit, but don't judge them either until we know the full final product and where we're at when we finally get like where we're at a place where this is our team now going forward, because this is not our team now. This is a team that's in the middle of in-between period. We get our full real team that we're going to have in the years to come, it'll be a totally different thing. I told y'all when we were healthy and we were in between the confusion of the beginning of the season and we actually were getting going and we saw good things happening right after the OG trade, that it was a better time to gauge Darko's coaching, and he was badass. We were 4-1 when we were healthy with Jakob after the trade before Siakam left. And that showed he had a really good team and he was winning, and we had amazing badass things happening. You could judge Darko better from that than right now. Judge him for the 5 games at the beginning of this year when we were 4-1 with Jakob, Pascal, RJ, and Emmanuel. That's a better place to judge him from when he has his full cadre of players, when he has Jakob available, when he still had Siakam. Well, now Siakam's gone. You can't gauge anything for Darko anymore because in some ways we're in a hole and we don't have the proper roster at this point for him to compete at the highest level to beat other teams. So, Jimmy, you're saying losing's whatever. There's intangibles that need to be happening. Okay, the players are still playing hard. They still believe in him. They still want to play. They're badasses for even if in a losing effort. We saw guys hitting the floor, and this game is not going to be close. In some ways, this game is already lost, and Thad Young's old ass is rolling around on the floor after a loose ball. You tell me this team is not trying. You tell me this team is not getting coached well, and I will be like, no, you're crazy. They're doing it. It's just it doesn't add up to winning. This league is very hard to win it. In some ways, you need all kinds of different things to be working right for you to win in the NBA. And in some ways, there's a couple of very fundamental things that are not working right for us to be able to win in the NBA. And you can't judge him like that. Yeah. Carlos saying, yeah, 100% it's intentional. I think it is. I think it is at this point. I don't think they're stupid. I think this is very much a smart, intentional thing that they're doing. I don't know if it's totally smart, but it is. In some ways, if they want to keep their draft pick. Cowboys saying, I got to say, I wasn't in the building, but the fans looked like they were watching golf. Well, this happens sometimes, especially if we're dubious about whether we're winning or losing team. Some ways the Raptors fans in the building will only cheer for the team if they feel like they're worth it, if they deserve it, because they're winning. It's the same thing for the Leafs and the Jays. They do the same thing. Like if the Jays aren't doing something to inspire them or excite them, they can be very quiet and apathetic and just shut up. It's the same thing with the Raptors. I wish the guys would get a loud crowd no matter what. but it's not like that, especially on a Monday night. Monday night is kind of a sleepy night. It's the middle of winter. It's snowy outside. They show up to the game. They are low energy crowd. And in some ways, they need pepping up by the players. That's what Matt and Jack were saying. It's like if they get a good play, they could ignite the crowd. And like that's true. But in some ways, this crowd is going to come ass backwards on a Monday night in the middle of the winter. Yeah. And in some ways, if the team seems like they're shitty or they're not a very good team again, they're not going to put in the effort to help them because they only cheer when they know it's a winner. That's just the fucking shitty thing about Toronto crowds. And I hate that. I hate that so much. Let's see. Monique is here. Terrible game from start to finish. Good morning, Raptor Freak fan. I won't disagree with you, but slightly. I think that the game was fine in the fourth quarter. I thought that they started waking up and they made a good push, and they actually outscored the Grizzlies near the end. That there was a little too late, too little too late. And it's like this team is cramming for finals, and they're doing all their studying in the last hour before they have to take the exam. That's the way they're treating games in some ways. In some ways, the criticism in their chat last night is saying, well, why don't they do that from the start? Why don't they get off their ass and bust their ass like the way they did near the end to try and to try and get the score at the end? Now, well, in some ways, that's learning. That's learning. Scotty learning, well, this is how much I have to do from the start to make sure that we're up ahead and winning at the end of the game. It's learning. It's learning. And they can try and scramble in the last 10 minutes of the game to make up a double-digit lead for the other team. But, that's not the time to start doing that. You should try and play better throughout the whole game. And then you don't have to do so much work right at the last minute to try and be prepared for your final exam. It's stuff like that. Cool Cat saying we're rebuilding. Just have to embrace the journey of a rebuild, a reset. I want to use the word reset. I don't necessarily want to say rebuilding because there's some stuff, the structures that are still there. It's crazy. If Chris is the longest standing Raptor now, Gary's second and Scotty is third. And somebody was saying if Gary and Chris are gone, Scotty is the longest standing Raptor after that. That is crazy to me. That is a lot of turnover in just a few years. Really a lot of turnover. Nako's saying Scotty needs to take what DeMar said to heart. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever he said. And I don't even know what you're saying that he said. I don't care what it is. I'll blindly say if DeMar said it, just believe it, Scotty. All right. Snoopy is here. I don't know if it's the real Snoopy. I don't know if Snoopy actually talks, but let's see what they're saying. Snoopy's saying you got to hit on those low first-round picks, though. Sixers process had like 7 top 3 picks, and after the smoke cleared, all they have is Embiid to show for it. Do you think Siakam would have re-signed? There's still speculation whether he'll still re-sign right now. I mean, that man does really love Toronto. And if things don't go exactly well with Indiana, I mean, there could be some sort of weird shit. Whereas like Pascal's like, I don't care about money. I just want to be in Toronto. I'm going to take as little money as possible and be able to be on the Raptors still. That's a pipe dream for me. I know it's probably not likely. But yeah, Snoopy, I'm not sure what fan nation you're in, but welcome. We're here every morning, 9:30. We got to hit on those. All right, listen, we're not going to compare anything that the Sixers did with their draft and their process to us. First of all, the Sixers were an inept front office that whole time they were doing that shit. They missed on so many of their picks. They had so much bullshit happen. The process was a torture for Sixers Nation. And in some ways, we're not going to do it that way. We're not stupid. We draft right. We could have one draft pick in the draft, and we will make it a hit. So in some ways, we don't need all of those picks. We need maybe to consolidate the 3 later picks into another first top pick. And maybe if we draft 2 picks in the top 10 in this draft pick, that may be good. And especially if we nail them both, we may be in good shape. So yeah, the Sixers process is actually a huge failure. You could say that it's a success because of Embiid and what we're at right now. You got 70 points last night. But honestly, the whole process was so damaging to that franchise. It really hurt their culture for a long, long time. It didn't help anything. And it was really destructive for that team. And I don't want to mimic anything the fucking Sixers did. Trust me. I really, really don't. Because they're lucky, in fact, to be at this point right now. So a lot of it has to do with Nick Nurse. In some ways, Joel, he's the only one other than Maxey that y'all got right. You had Fultz. You had all these different guys, Ben Simmons, and they are all busts. And they were all did not work for y'all. And you didn't hang on to them. They went other places. Other things happened. And letting go of Jimmy Butler, that was a big problem too. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to compare anything that they did because honestly, they're not a textbook for success. They're a textbook for failure, is what I'm saying. And even if they do well this year, I still think that the way they did things was so fucking destructive. I would caution any team to not do things the way the Sixers did in the last 10 years. Seriously, so destructive. So destructive. Fiercely saying, no big man 2 years ago, and we cried. We got Yak, but I think front office should have gotten two, not only one. Even though Koloko was out and there was hope of having him, uh, they should have, yeah, planned ahead just in case. I agree with this. There should be depth. There should be depth. And yeah, the Koloko things really hurt us, like deeply hurt us. Holy crap, Christian. We we really didn't need you to have this health problem. Chris is here. Good to see Chris. That shit was ugly, but hey, it did seem like half the Raptors players think they are being traded too. But the building blocks are there. Yeah. All right. Let me go over the rest of the box with the other Raptors real quick. Jonte, 6 minutes, first stint, horrible. 0 for 2, got 2 rebounds and 1 block. That block's great. 2 rebounds is heading the right direction, but we need you to do better. You cannot play like this and expect to play in the NBA. Gary Trent Jr., another night where he started, and what did he get? 6 points. I'm telling y'all, it has nothing to do with starting or coming off the bench. In fact, if Bruce Brown plays better and he takes the starting job, you're going to see a mix of what Gary does either way off the bench or starting. 2 for 6, 2 for 4 from 3. I like the 2 made threes, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 6 points, just cardio minutes. In some ways, Gary, that's just not enough, bro. Emmanuel Quickly, very disappointing last night. The one thing about his game that I like is the 10 assists, but he did have 4 turnovers, which is gross. 8 points in 37 minutes, 3 of 13, 2 of 6. He did not shoot well. He had 5 rebounds and 2 steals, though. But yeah, Emmanuel, in some ways, I'm going to give him a lot of benefit of the doubt because he's new, because he's sorting things out. In some ways, he's playing a different way than he did for New York. And it's all going to come together over time. And in some ways, I like that he got assists, but in some ways, he needs to make his shots. He's shooting very, very poorly right now. Chris Boucher, 12 minutes, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. I'm giving him credit for busting his ass and fighting in there with no help, trying to get us rebounds. It's just really hard. Bruce Brown really annoyed me last night. 3 of 5, 1 of 2 from 3, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 7 points. He's not fitting. And in some ways, I don't like the undersizedness of him. He kind of epitomizes our whole team right now. 6'4" power forward. That is what epitomizes our team right now. Grady was fine. He missed his only shot. He didn't score, but he was a +5, which is good. He had 3 rebounds, and there was 1 turnover he caused. But I thought that Grady was solid, and he looked like he belonged out there, even if he didn't do a whole lot. In some ways, it's progress. Little progress with Grady is what matters to me. If I look to the other side, I got to give kudos to Jaren Jackson Jr., Luke Kennard. That guy, Conchar, was very annoying. He was doing all kinds of annoying stuff. The guy got 5 blocks, and he was just a defensive, annoying little Caruso motherfucker. Yeah, that was really kind of what was going on the other side. Let's see. Stargate saying, to be fair, Lex, Jonte had an eye issue. That's why he didn't play the rest of the game. That's not true. They asked him that. They said, why didn't Jonte play in this second half? And Darko said, I chose not to play him. It wasn't because of his eye issue. He had a contact come out. That's basically what happened. And he got his contact put back in. He was fine. There was no eye issue. He was a coach's decision not to play in the second half. And Darko made that clear in the press conference afterwards. They asked him, they said, did Jonte not play in the second half because of his eye? And he said, no, I chose not to put him back in. Let's see. Fiercely saying, we beat them early this month with Pascal on the roster. I'm conditioned to lose. Not being negative, but realistic is better for my mindset. No expectations. Patience until next year. This is the way we should be for the rest of the year. Fiercely's exactly right. She's a good leader in the Raptor Freak family. And this is exactly how we should be taking things right now. We beat them with Ja Morant and Marcus Smart earlier this month. And so, everything's a little bit different right now. We can see how much we've fallen off without Siakam around. And in some ways, we couldn't afford to lose both Siakam and Anunoby without a drop-off. We could maybe afford to lose Anunoby in that first deal. But once we lost Siakam too, and Jakob's out, you see where we're at. Chris is saying Jonte is a third string big. He is no Jaren Jackson Jr. in any shape or form. No sense to be hard on him. And he didn't play much as he hurt his eye, but no team can win without a front court. Yeah, I'm going to agree with most of what you said and disagree with some of it. Yeah. Obviously, in some ways, it's like he's overmatched, but I don't care. He's a young prospect. You should work hard, play hard, and go above and beyond if you really want to make a name for yourself and be in the NBA. In some ways, the things that piss me off about Jonte, and I can be hard on him because we really need him to help us, is the basic big man stuff. In some ways, the shit that he does so well is hard and is skilled and is tough to do, the passing and the shooting. The other stuff is easy. And that's why I'm pissed at him, because he's not doing the basic big man stuff that is easy. And that's the problem right now. I don't care if he, like I said, I don't care if he can pass. I don't care if he can shoot the three. Right now, he needs to do what his team needs him to do the most right now, and that is to play as a big man. And he's failing at that. It may be that that's part of the problem. If you really want a big man that can shoot and do offensive things, well, he's going to be a shitty defensive big man. Well, that's what we need to know right now is, Jonte, can you play defense? Can you rebound? Because in some ways you can't right now, and it's a problem. It's very much a problem. You say no sense to be hard on him? Yeah. This man's given an opportunity. You're starting for the Toronto Raptors, motherfucker. You better go get rebounds. I'll be hard on him. You're getting an opportunity. You're getting your dreams. You want to play in the NBA? You're starting for the Toronto Raptors right now. So you better fucking box out, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah, I can be hard on him. He starts for my team. I'll be hard on him. That's right. And he did not play later, not because of his eye. He did not play later because he cannot play in the NBA at this level right now. If he plays the way he does the first 6 minutes of the games, I'm going to say I can't play him. He can't play in the NBA right now. In fact, maybe we need to go send him to Mississauga and let him play in the G League game on Wednesday just to get a tune-up. Because, seriously, y'all may think I'm being too hard on him, but I'm not. The basic stuff is box out and rebound. You can't do that, then you shouldn't be playing the NBA. You seriously shouldn't. I don't give a shit about how good offensively you are. If you cannot do the basics of a big man in the NBA, you shouldn't play in it. And that's what he needs to do. Some of that competition is tough. I know. Well, get your butt sticking out. Stop being so straight up, Jonte. Bend your back and put your butt out and put your butt to someone. And then maybe you'll get some shit done. You need to get a Rick Mahorn ass. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Go to fucking Mandarin with Chet Holmgren and just get locked in there and just start eating. I don't give a shit if you have a fucking Kyle Lowry derriere when you're done. You need to put your ass on people to box them out. That's seriously, that's a basic thing. That's all it needs to tell them. It's like, put your fucking ass on someone and back them down and make room for the rebound for you to catch it. If you're not strong enough to grab it because they're muscling out your hands, put the fucking weights to your arms. And they're wrenching it out of your hands. Do something about it, Jonte. This is your career, motherfucker. You think that you get injured and then you get these chances that they just come on trees like over and over again every year? No. This is your time right now. Utilize it. Take it. Take that brass ring and succeed. I want you to succeed so bad. Please, please do the basic big man stuff. Please, 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 please. Jimmy's saying enemy team scouting report consists of one thing: attack, 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 and we win against the Raptors. We have Aldama attacking our paint. Yeah, just go inside. There's nobody there to stop you. There's no rim protection whatsoever. Do whatever the fuck you want. In some ways, Scotty is not a good rim defender yet. He could be. He could be in the years to come. But it's an expertise that he hasn't had to work on yet because he had people around him that took care of that kind of stuff for him. But they're not there anymore, especially with Jakobau. There's nobody there doing it. In some ways, Scotty can't just all of a sudden learn how to be a rim protector in the right way with his body and bodying it out and stuff like this, and especially with all the switching. And if he's the only big out there and there's 4 little guards out there, how the fuck is he supposed to box out both sides of the basket? How? We can't do it. Bruce Brown's going to be down there 6'4", trying to grab the ball from a 7-footer? What the fuck is that? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. G's saying we got rid of 2 two-way players whom rebound and no yak. Trust the next steps are to fill those voids. There you go. G coming in, voice of reason, positive. And I agree. Trust that we're going to fill these voids. It's just right now it's going to look ugly. Temporarily, it's going to look real ugly in the Raptors. It's going to look real ugly. Don't expect to win, y'all. Don't expect to win games. Don't. Gerald's saying that Thad's been playing like he's our 4th best, maybe 3rd best player. Yeah. Yeah, that's why he's one of my 3 stars from last night. He was one of the 3 best players on the court for us last night. That's where we're at right now. Thad Young is our 3rd best player on the court last night, y'all. Infamous saying, salute, freaks. Kyle has unfollowed the Heat. DeJounte Murray has started following the Heat. Something's going down soon. Somebody was saying that Kyle's getting traded. Edmund said it in the comments. Nothing was real. Don't give me false news until it actually happens. If Kyle Lowry's getting traded to the Atlanta Hawks for DeJounte Murray, well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Jimmy's saying, even the Grizzlies commentary team was saying it. Yeah, we ain't got nothing inside. Anybody who watches basketball or has any kind of basketball knowledge can see exactly what's wrong with the Raptors. It's not an effort. It's roster build as far as size is lacking. And you can't do jack shit to win the NBA without size. You really, really can't. Let's see. G saying, is it true Roy and Russell unfollowed the Lakers? That's what I've been hearing. I don't care either way. In some ways, it's like, once again, guys, when something happens and it's happened, I'll react then. But I don't want to speculate. I don't want to get into all that. Nako's saying, good Scotty games and good RJ games give me life. Yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff y'all should be looking at. If you really want to pay attention to feeling good about the Raptors and going forward, is watch Scotty. Watch how good he plays. Watch the newness and the stuff he's adding to his game, night in, night out, week by week, month by month. And that will give you enough to be like, all right, I can keep watching and I'll feel good even if we lose all the time. Monique saying, I deserve better. Hello, Rebuild. Always cheering regardless. You deserve better? What do we deserve in this life, Monique? We get what we get. And in some ways, everything in teams is a cycle. You know, we've had a very nice 10-year positive winning cycle. And we're about to go into a darko time that's not going to win as much. And in some ways, we've been spoiled for 10 years with a lot of winning. And we've been very, very lucky. And I've loved that. But every franchise in sports has cycles. You go up, you come down. You go up, you come down. You go up, you come down. And we're just on a down spot where it's natural. And it's supposed to happen for every single team. If it doesn't happen for a team ever, well, they're probably in cahoots with the league. And they're being propped up like crazy. The Celtics have gone through their down period. The Sixers have gone down through their down period. The Knicks, the Nets, every single team in this league has had down periods. It's just our turn. It's just our turn. We haven't had our turn in a while. In fact, it's been quite a while since we've had a downturn. I don't even count Tampa. Tampa wasn't even a downturn. That was a disaster. That was a natural disaster, a pandemic. And this one is actually now, for real, a downturn with a reset. Downturn with a reset. Jimmy's saying, imagine going to pay $15 for a beer and paying exorbitant prices for seats to watch a team that doesn't want to fill obvious needs. It's their responsibility to put out a palpable product. Well, I don't look at it this way. And someone's, I paid the money for these seats in February. Yeah, I'm paying some bills to go see the Raptors play in February because I want to go see Fred VanVleet return to the arena and say hi to him, a hero, a great Raptor of all time. I want to go say hi to Pascal Siakam when he returns. I'm going to go pay those tickets to go there. And some other people may not. Some people may not. There may be games that are not going to be well attended because they're a shitty team and we're shitty. And a lot of people will not be going to them, sure. But in some ways, I don't get like this, Jimmy. Listen, people want to spend money on things. They're going to spend money on things. Things are way too expensive all over the place. It's not just with the arena prices. It's your groceries. It's your gas. It's all over the place. People want to spend the money in their budget to do this because it pleases them or makes them happy. It'll make me happy to go there with Adriana and sit in the arena and pay a bunch of money to watch a shitty Raptors team, but get to say hi to Fred. It's worth it to us. So it's up to everybody. I would say, fucking paying $15 for a beer, that's a waste of money. For damn sure, but that's an alcoholic that doesn't drink for 13 years saying that. Yeah. So it's a personal choice. Somebody wants to spend a whole bunch of money to go see an overpriced concert these days. You really love Depeche Mode. You are willing to pay $300 for a ticket. That's their choice. That's just how it is. We live in an overpriced society at this point. And I get it. That product isn't very good on the court, but I still love my team and support it. And even if we don't have a good chance to win, I love going to games. So, I mean, there's different ways to look at this, Jimmy. Infamous is saying teams are now planning to stop Scotty with double teams. That is what happens with the absence of Pascal. I hear fans now saying we shouldn't have traded him. Laugh out loud. Yeah, you idiots. You idiots. I said this all along. It'll be a sad day when Siakam leaves our team. And it is. It's sad because we see the reality of what it is after him. And this is totally true. This is one of the keys that I should have been saying this weekend, but I wasn't. Once those other guys are gone, all the game plans circle around a Scott. And Sky's going to have a harder time scoring as efficiently as he did before. Now, he's actually doing pretty well. That's part of the reason why he only had 9 points on Saturday night, Raptors fans, is because Siakam's not taking the attention. The double teams are coming for Scott. The defensive systems are centered around stopping Scott instead of Pascal. So that's part of it right there. Now, Scotty's showing that he can score against double teams and anybody. It doesn't give a shit. And in some ways, I love that. But there is an adjustment that he's going to have to take as being the focal point for other teams' defenses now. And it won't be as easy as it was when his other teammates were around him. And some people need to realize that and give him allowances for that. But I see him doing amazing things. He's going to figure it out quicker. Some people can't beat the double team very well right off the bat, and it takes them years to figure it out. Siakam's kind of like that. You know, when he started getting doubled after Kawhi left, well, he had to go through a really tough growing pain part where he missed and lost the ball so much, and he was ineffective, and he failed a lot. But he got it at some point. He figured it out at some point between the years of Tampa and the first year of Scotty. You know, somewhere in there, Siakam got really good at beating the double team and passing out of it and making the right reads. Well, I would say this. Scotty is not going to take as long as Siakam did to figure this out. He's going to figure this out way quicker, and he's going to be better at beating double teams faster, partly because he's stronger than Siakam in some ways, and in some ways his offensive bag's different than Siakam's. So that's one thing I would say about that. But yeah, the absence of the other guys, it makes it harder. Now, RJ in some ways helps Scott with this. And in some ways, we really do need RJ next to Scotty for drawing some of the attention away. As much as Scotty's going to take attention away from RJ, and that'll help him, the much is very much the same the other way. So Seymour saying, for all saying easy win, there you go. Welcome to the NBA. Yeah, I didn't say it was an easy win yesterday. I said this. I feel like we could win. I said, but if we don't, then this is what we're going to say. We're on our way to our pick. And that's what happened. You know, every game in the NBA is hard to win. Every single game. I don't care how shitty that team is. Charlotte Hornets can play the fucking crazy-ass game last night and win against the Minnesota Timberwolves in that crazy-ass high-scoring game where Karl Anthony Towns got over 60 points. And the Hornets won, y'all. Hornets on the road outscored the Timberwolves. Anybody can win. The NBA is hard. NBA is hard, man. It is hard. Kareem saying, I'm just trying to learn how to temper my expectations about this team. I just hope we have enough propane to keep the barbecue going because these 3 guys are great. Start to build around. Yeah, we will. And they're smart. This is part of it, though. In some ways, I know RJ and Scotty are bought in. A little worried about Emmanuel. In some ways, we need him to find more individual success by the end of this year. Because in some ways, look, he's a restricted free agent, and we can retain him no matter what if we really want to match the money that other people give him. But also at the same time, I don't know what could happen with him. I don't want him to be disgruntled. I want him to be happy to be on Toronto, and in some ways, winning will help that. But you know what will really help that is very big leaps in his development as a player, and he plays better. That will help him more because if he sees the worthwhileness of he's getting more skilled, and he's getting more like his friend Maxey, who he played with in Kentucky, then he'll be happy. But that's what we need to see. We need to see him developing and getting better, his shot going better, and maybe being a better point guard, and he should be happy, and then everything will be all right. But he's the one I worry about the most. RJ's going to be fine. He's going to love playing here. He understands that we're going to lose a bit. He's got the right head on his shoulders. In fact, RJ's just, oh my gosh, he's perfect. He's perfect. Scotty, I think he gets it because he's the center of everything, and he understands that he's the franchise face and that this is going to be just part of the ride. And in some ways, he's got to understand this is the bottom of the hill, and he's got to climb up it. And he's a big part of how we get up it and whether we get to next level. Wet schedule is on him, on how quickly he develops and understands all this stuff on how to win. And Thad's saying in the press conference last night that Scotty is ahead. Scotty knows what he's doing. Scotty is a genius. Scotty knows basketball. I have faith that we're going to continue to fast track with our development of our team overall as Scotty fast tracks individually as a player like he has this year. And that in some ways, you don't have to look at our rebuild as being a long, arduous task, because in some ways, our superstar is so smart and so quick to learn that this may come quicker than y'all think. It may very well be that way. It could very well be. We have a very active offseason. We get some really interesting players in the mix. We have a proper training camp with the new nucleus around Scott, and we are gangbusters next season. It just really is that Bobby and Masai have to craft the team in the right way to fit all the deficiencies that we have right now, and we'll be fine. We will be fine. Kareem, just, hey, you ride with us, and we'll go through it together. And expectations kind of have to go out the window at this point. Mugarbe saying, good morning, Raptors. So you think this would be an easy ride without Pascal? Pascal made Scotty look good. Now the team's planning for him. Yeah, Mugarbe is told you so right now. And he is rightful to do this. It's he has the right, because he said this in the year before. He said, you're going to see what the Raptors are going to be like without Siakam. And you're going to wish he was still here. And Mugarbe is exactly right. And we need to hear him, because he did say this. He said this, and all these people that are anti-Siakam saying all this crazy crap about him. Mugarbe was very protective of him and said, no, we do not need to let him see, and you will see what happens. And this is all Mugarbe is doing right now. He's collecting on this because he was right. He was right. And all you Siakam haters, all you people that said, oh, we don't need Siakam, fuck Siakam, get him off this team. Well, Mugarbe was right, and y'all should have listened to him. You should have listened to him. Chris is saying at Jimmy Pope, that's one thing. They need to drop the ticket prices at this point and beer costs. They need to bring in a 25 ticket section at this point. Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. They're not going to do any of that, because people are going to still have the tickets and come down there and pay for them. They won't do that. Nah, we don't live in an age of this kind of stuff. Do you think we live in an age where we get value commensurate with what we get, like as far as what we pay? No. The grocery stores are giving us less and charging us more. That's just the world we live in it right now. If you want to change something about that, we need to destroy corporatism. Yeah, we need to destroy the big, huge corporations that are robbing us blind, left and right, and all kinds of products around this world. That is the only way we'll change this. No, you know what they're going to tell you? Yeah, the team's not that good, but we're going to renovate the Scotiabank Arena this summer, and we need this money from your tickets for that. It's justified because we're renovating the building, Chris. It's justified because we're going to make a new fan experience for you that's not necessary, that nobody actually wants. But we are laundering money on the down low, and we need to do fucked up shit like have a huge $1 billion not necessary makeover of our building. And it's similar to what the Blue Jays are doing with Rogers Center, that it's like stupid, because in some ways it's really just like laundering money, I'll bet, is what's going on. It's probably organized crime, laundering some sort of money through projects with the stadiums here in Toronto is probably part of it. And they'll justify the higher prices by saying, well, we're fixing up the building. We're making it better for your experience. That's why the prices are high. It's not because of how the team is. It's because we have to fix the building. Jimmy's saying 1-7 without Yak, but the front office sees no problem, apparently. That's what makes me think we're actively tanking. No, see, Jimmy, you can't put thoughts in their heads. They see exactly what's happening here. They see a problem. They're not dumb. You can't act like this. You can't say they see no problem. No, they know there's a problem. They know there's a problem. Come on, let's not act like people are stupid. Let's not act like people are not understanding. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Obviously, what your last part said makes you think that we're actively tanking. Yeah. I don't like saying that. I banned that word from this channel, but if the team's actually going to go and do it, I have to admit a reality, even if I hate the strategy. I mean, I get it. In some ways, it does make sense for what they're doing, but in some ways, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And really, in some ways, it's not tanking to lose. It's tanking as far as we're not good enough to win, and we're trying our ass off to win. So none of the losing mentalities, losing things are going through our guys. They're doing everything to win. It's just not adding up to winning. And that's how you keep a winning culture, even though you're losing, from the comment earlier. It's like you're preparing, you're doing everything. The game plan should win. If it doesn't happen, if you don't have enough talent, you don't add up to winning, then you just don't win. But you're keeping the winning habits that lead to get better and better and better. And then eventually you do start winning because of that winning habits that you're doing. That's the philosophy of what the Raptors are doing here. It's not like we're going to not try to win. We're going to go out there and we're going to put a good effort. We're going to play our asses off. We're going to try and win games. Hopefully we do win games, but we may not be good enough to win games. That's what it is. You don't have a center, you're not good enough to win. Stargate saying at Fiercely, my worry is the conditioning of these very young players' mentality. I don't want what's going on here setting a losing mindset in these youngsters. Need to bring in a winning mindset vet. Yeah, but I don't understand where you're going with this, Stargate. It's like, listen, these guys are all winning mindset kind of guys. Marquise Noel, listen to him. Listen to how he talks on his Instagram and saying it's God's all planned it. I'm going to win championships. I'm going to be finals MVP. I'm going to do all this. These guys have winning mentalities, even if they're deranged and delusional about it. That's not what the issue is here. You don't need to worry about that. If you're worried about these guys getting apathetic and turning into losers like the Charlotte Hornets or something like that, you shouldn't. Because first of all, we have safeguards for this. Masai and Bobby will get rid of people that are apathetic and are not working well enough for this team. They will get rid of them, trust me. In some ways, part of the reason why Masai gave so much time to this group to try and figure it out was because he knew these guys were trying, and that wasn't the problem was that they weren't apathetic. They were busting their ass off, and it just wasn't adding up. So I really don't think you should worry about this. Scotty's the leader of this team. Scotty's got a winning mentality. He always will have a winning mentality, even if he loses. This is the way he was on 2K. He lost a lot of 2K games. Trust me. We sat there and watched him lose games. He'd get frustrated and mad. Yeah, but it didn't change who he was. He still wanted to beat everybody's ass and win. So I don't know. I don't think that this kind of attitude is something to worry about. Because first of all, the whole thing, the culture is set by the team and the way the team carries itself. Masai Ujiri all the way down. Teresa Resch does all these extra things to help the Raptors team really make the players feel top notch, organization, good things. That stuff is the stuff that keeps us away from what you're talking about and worried about. Is that we carry ourselves as a winning organization around the whole team. Well, it's just going to have that kind of feel to it. I know what you're worried about, but I don't think you should be, because a lot of it has to do with Scott first, center, and the way his personality is never going to have a losing mentality. He will never have a losing mentality. Trust me. And you shouldn't worry about this. Cowboys saying, I love the Raptors win or lose. There's one thing I must say, though. Why, when I type in Toronto Raptors, I call this fake clickbait bullshit channels and no Raptors freak. Everyone smash the like button. I don't know. In some ways, once again, I'm not worried about getting promoted or put out there. I'm like a nice little secret for a secret club. You guys know about the secret club. You're here with me. In some ways, not everybody needs to know about the secret club. That's what makes it special. If they find out about it and they come and they join us, that's great. You've just joined the secret Raptor Free Club, the positive fans. And it's a very kept secret. It's a really awesome thing that may be exclusive and not a lot of people know about it. Well, that's kind of how I look at it. In some ways, people want to be around us on this channel and talk to us and interact with us. That's awesome. But in some ways, I'm not going for volume, Cowboy. And in some ways, I don't care where I come in the search algorithm. I really don't. People are going to find me. They really love the Raptors and they find me. They found their place and they love it and they want to be here. They're here. They don't have to be either. There's going to be a lot of fans that are going to be like, yeah, that guy's crazy. I don't want to listen to him. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, that guy is really awesome because he really informs me on a lot of things about the Raptors that I like to know. And in some ways, it's a well-kept, it's a secret. And, if you know, this kind of thing. It's like a booze can in Toronto. There's a really awesome booze can in the basement in Kensington Market. Well, people that know, and they get to enjoy it. In some ways, that's what this is. That's what this is. And in some ways, I don't need the promotion, Cowboy. You want to promote me? You go ahead. Wear my shirt when you go to work and get people to come find me. You guys want to promote me? Promote me. I'm not trying to be hidden. But in some ways, I'm not trying to put any effort either into getting out there and putting myself all over the place. I could have done it way more in the couple of years I've been doing this, but that's not how I'm trying to do this. Grassroots building. I figure the ones that will find me on their own and enjoy me and decide to subscribe, well, they're more likely to stay than if I go out and cast a big, huge net and I get a whole bunch of General Raptors fans. Some of them may not be the right mix. Some of them may be annoying. Some of them may not want around. And it may not be good quality. And then they're coming in and going. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather deal with just the good set ones that find me on their own, that value what I do and stick with me. And that's it. I don't care. And we know what we're growing. That's the sign right there is we're growing. Seymour saying Alex Sarr coming is what I see. Still shooting for play in, but after last night, I can't even see that happening. I can't see it happening either, Seymour. Are you saying there's still a chance? There is, but is there really? In some ways, is that what they want? I don't think so. I think Masai's probably saying to Bobby, like, is play in for what? Play in for what? Well, for Scotty to get more experience in the postseason and have a chance to have a redo on a game against the Bulls the other last year, and maybe there's a better outcome this time. And he gets to feel a win in a play-in do or die situation. Yeah, that could be very valuable. But what is more valuable, that or the pick? That's the trade-off right there. That's the trade-off. Alex Sarr, you guys are huge on Alex Sarr. I don't mind. He looks very interesting. Jimmy's saying, but it's at the expense of our fans, and it's really putting a sour taste in our mouths. Are you going to games, Jimmy? Are you? I've never seen the arena so quiet. No, I've seen the arena much quieter. The arena was okay late, but no, don't get it twisted. The arena was so quiet in the early 2000s. It was disgusting. Our crowd has come so far. But it's a Monday night game. We're in a bad place and this kind of stuff. Now, putting a sour taste in our mouths. Are you going to the games yourself, Jimmy? Are you paying money to go to the games? If you're not, then what are you worried about? Don't worry about it. In some ways, if they don't get ticket sales right by the end of the year, that'll teach them. That's right. If ticket sales drop more and more as the season goes on and people do not go in the games, there's a lot less people in the arenas, they'll get the message. They'll get the message. That's the way we have to work as consumers, is we can fix the market by showing our voter, our buyer confidence. If we don't buy, they don't make money. Well, then they have to adjust. And well, if people are feeling like they don't want to go to the games, they don't want to spend the money, then they'll see that and they'll feel it in their bottom line. And that's just how it is. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Wayne's saying we agree on everything positive. And then what? Lex, you seem to care more than some of the notables. This is not about talent. It's about professionalism and doing the job with pride, reset or not. I get what you're saying. Well, once again, we have to give allowances to these guys of looking unprofessional is because they're new and they don't know each other. In some ways, you're going to have a weird feeling out period when there's so many new people in there. It's like RJ said, we got 3 new guys. He was like, oh, wait, we actually have 5 new guys. I need to include myself and Emmanuel that are going on in this roster all of a sudden. And there's more changes to come. So in some ways, it's like, I get what you're trying to say. But professionalism isn't unprofessionalism is sometimes disguised as like we're new and we don't know what we're fucking doing with each other. It's kind of what it is. It's not that they're trying to be unprofessional. It's just they don't know each other. How are they supposed to fucking play with each other where they look professional? Because they've never played with each other. Is kind of my point on that. Most saying 3 stars of the game and the loss, RJ, Scotty, and Thad. Yeah, same 3 I had. Seymour saying, even in jail, I've seen better basketball than what I seen last night. Trash basketball. Bringing up the jail basketball, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to disagree. There was some really bad turnover sequences in the middle of the game in the second quarter that were just a joke. It looked like 905 G League shit. Honestly, it did. Fiercely saying, agreed with Jimmy Pope and Chris. They need to reduce the ticket costs if the performance are meh. I'm not even looking to come anymore as I'm anticipating. We can't predict wins, but lack of effort is frustrating. Money doesn't grow on trees. No, I completely agree with y'all. And this is your own financial decisions to make. If MLSE doesn't want to adjust like you guys are asking for, well, they'll see what happens with ticket sales for the rest of the year. And these resellers that got the tickets, the people that already have them, they may be sitting on them. In some ways, that's part of the racket. They've already sold most of the tickets, even though the team is not very good now. And the people that have the tickets on their season tickets are going to lose money is what's going to happen. So, yeah, I get it. I'm sad to hear that you might not be coming to Toronto now for the season because of the way things have gone. But I totally agree with understand why. I understand why. Cowboys saying, yes, sir, Mountain Standard Time. I check out Alex Sarr. He would fit great with us, only 18 years old, but you think I would fall past the 6th pick or later? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Once again, when we get closer to the draft and we understand kind of what the rankings are like and what we're doing, because there's still a lot of changes that could happen with our picks, then we can kind of really gauge in a educated way what the possibilities for what the Raptors are going to draft. this is way too soon. In some ways, we do have to go through the drudgery of the losing season before we actually get to that fun stuff. All right, let's see. Cool Cat's saying Gary is missing the opportunity to clean up his stats. He should be taking advantage of this free open time until traded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If he is going to be traded, whatever's going to happen with him. Yeah, I feel like he is dropping the ball right now. He's starting again. There's no excuses. Seriously, what is the issue here, bro? You said it was because you were starting. I told you it's never been about starting or not. It's just you're inconsistent. And this is your time, bro. Scotty and RJ need you, man. We need more scoring punch. You need to do better. That's all I'm saying right there. Seymour saying, yeah, it's a stretch to Cowboy. Chris is saying, well, this period of rebuild will last the rest of this year anyway. Oh, well, not to worry. But can I say 70 points by the player I dislike the most, but as a basketball fan, wow, he ate Wemby alive. In some ways, I feel like that was calculated. In some ways, it's like Nick probably was telling him, yeah, they're going to say this guy's the future. Go out there and destroy him. I think it's ridiculous that Joel Embiid broke the record for the Sixers franchise, beating Wilt Chamberlain last night. In some ways, I disdainfully recognize this accomplishment. Yeah, it's annoying. It's very annoying in some ways, but it is what it is. 70 points. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Jimmy's saying, I will praise Darko, but he does need to be he does need to be better, period. Other teams' coaches are getting up with worse rosters on a regular basis. I don't know. Like, what do you mean other teams with worse roster? Are you talking about Taylor Jenkins last night with the roster he had? That was a worse roster than ours. Yeah, I'll agree. But they had key components that help you win better, which is size. They had the defensive player of the year last year on their team. And that was a huge factor. We have no defense at all, our side. And on their side, they have the defensive player of the year. I mean, I get what you're trying to say, Jimmy, but being critical of Darko is not helpful at this point. Let's just put it that way. In some ways, just as much as our hands are tied as fans, his hands are tied also because of the roster build. So in some ways, it's not fair to come down on Darko right now because of a huge glaring void on the roster build right now. Really, we got to pause any criticism of Darko right now, especially since Jakob's out. If not, even more because there are not enough bigs on our team. So Seymour saying unknown ballers were breaking off our players at home, man. It was tough to watch. Those guys are not unknown. These guys are guys who've come up through the system and have gotten in the NBA. Some of them are G Leaguers. Some of them are GG Jackson, youngest player in the league. These guys are not unknown. They had some good length on their side. In some ways, that Zaire Williams and GG and them, they were in Santi. That's a very long arm team. In some ways, they look like the long arm team, and we look like the little baby team. And well, in some ways, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. I would not call these guys unknown ballers. Santi Aldama is very known at this point. Jared Jackson Jr. is the defensive player of the year. And I mean, I'll go look at them some more. I get it. They didn't have their main guys. Luke Kennard has gotten to this point in his career where he's absolutely a deadly weapon. That Vince Williams guy got a double-double. And he's a new young player that's playing very high level. He's a guard, and he looks like a forward, by the way. David Roddy looked like fucking Charles Barkley out there working around with his big ass. And what could we do about that? Xavier Tillman, it was hilarious. What Jack kept saying, he's not a skilled player. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. And that drew that charge off of him. That was awesome. Grady also got a charge off of him. They just were bigger than us. And in basketball, bigger teams beat smaller teams. And that's it. Fiercely saying at Stargate, you have a point. The player's mindset definitely needs a shift. They need to be hungry and want to win. Not everyone is fortunate to be in the NBA. They should make the most of it. Once again, I'm going to say this. It's not easy to win the NBA. You can want to win and want to do all this, but it may not add up to winning. That's the whole thing. There's a lot of things that need to go together to win. And it's not like we can turn this switch on and off and just say, all right, guys, play harder and you're going to win. No, they could play their asses off and it doesn't add up to winning. So y'all need to understand that what you're talking about with mindset is not what the problem is. The mindset is there. It's just that they are not good enough to win. It's not that these guys are shitty pros and they're just like, I hate the NBA. Oh, I'm not trying hard enough. Oh, I'm not doing this. No, these guys are trying. Their mindset is right. They're listening to the coach. It's just that they're not in a position to win right now because they're not prepared, first of all. Half of them did not practice with the team at all until today. And then that we don't have any centers. We don't have any size. We're not prepared to win because of the state we're in. It's not a mindset thing, y'all. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's not a mindset thing. That's right. Stargate saying Scotty, RJ, and IQ have to stay mature and understand the process to success, not let the losing change them mentally. Hold on, be professional, and prepare to be a winning player regardless. It sounds like y'all need to say this to y'all selves. Seriously, this isn't about them. They're fine. RJ and Emmanuel were on the New York Knicks, and they were really bad at times. They understand this. They've signed on for this. This is not an issue for them. Scott, I wonder about, maybe this could be an issue for him, but I don't think so. I don't think so. So in some ways, Stargate, what you're trying to say about them, you tell it to yourself. How about that? You need to tell yourself that this is the process of how they need to go to get to success, and you need to be okay with it, and you need to hold on and be professional as a fan. Forget about them. You can't control whether they're doing this or not on their own. You just got to hope and pray they are. But they are. And in some ways, like I said, this is not something y'all should be worried about. Losing mentality, losing habits, none of this shit is happening. They're winning habits they have. They're just not adding up to losing. They're just adding up to losing. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, we don't want teams to see us as food to make their record numbers. Well, we are. And we cannot want that, but we don't need to care about that, honestly. We should be scrappy to prevent that. U.S. media already celebrated Kobe's 81 on us. I don't give a shit. They're celebrating Kobe's achievement, not necessarily us. We're a part of that, but in some ways, it's not about us. It's about Kobe getting 81. And that's the only thing we should talk about when that comes up. So what if it was us? It could have been any fucking team in this league. Seriously. And anybody's going to do that. Well, it's just like anybody in school or anything is a bully making fun of you. You don't have to listen to them. What do they matter, Cool Cat? I don't give a shit about trollish little idiots down there lording 81 points over us from a long time ago from Kobe Bryant. Get over yourselves. They're the same motherfuckers who use the word Lebronto like it hurts us. I don't care. I don't care about that. That's the past. That's old shit. People are going to be fucking shitty towards us no matter what. We can't control this. So who cares? Who cares if they're celebrating 81 at our deficit yesterday? Who cares? It's just the past. Who cares? And listen, I don't give a shit if it's the truth that, yeah, we're food for other teams. We don't care. In some ways, it's only about us and where we are on our path. And it doesn't matter what they think or they're doing. We think inwardly about our own development and what we're trying to become and work on ourselves. It's just like in real life. Do you want to get caught up by the bullies at school and what they say about you all the time? No, tune them out. Live your own life. Don't fucking care about the haters is what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Seymour saying, how many turnovers did Barnes have? I can see he wants to win. He plays hard. He needs to find balance between playing hard and having fun. He's having fun. First of all, I'm going to tell you all this right now. He listen, he doesn't like losing, but he eats it up. He loves the NBA lifestyle. He loves that he has a scheduled, regimented process for how he does what he's doing. He's seeing crazy results, crazy strides and progress that he has got to be feeling really happy and proud in certain ways about good things happening for him. You guys got to understand this. Scotty is having fun just being in the NBA. He loves the travel. He loves the camaraderie with his teammates. He loves the practices. He loves being on the road. He loves going to play different teams. He loves having the matchup against top players in the league. He loves it all. There's nothing you need to worry about with this as far as like he is having fun and he is playing hard. So the balance is there. You may not see him smiling all the time, but he has to have a face on for the game. And trust me, when he's at home, he's like, he has to pinch himself. He's living his dream. He plays for the NBA. And that is something that is so special to him in itself right there. Barnes did have some turnovers yesterday. He did have a few. He ended up having 5 at the end of the game, which is too many. You're right. It's too many. But it is what it is. It's a new period. It's going to be this. It's the Scotty period. We're going to have this. I said that. We're going to have more turnovers. It's going to be different. Kevin's saying RJ is our best offensive player. I won't disagree. And it's not even that it's a competition or anything. In some ways, he's the more refined offensive player on our team. He really understands how to get his points, and he goes and gets them. In some ways, Scotty will be more like him as time goes on. Cowboys saying we locked in at 6 pick for now, right? No, we're not locked in at 6. Bradley, you know how the draft works. It's a lottery. If we finish 6 or lower, like if we're in the bottom 6, we keep our pick, and then they do the lottery balls. And it doesn't mean that we're 6. It means we wherever that ping pong comes out, we are. Now, I could do a weird Winders thing and say, oh, what if the ping pong balls go bad for us and we end up outside the top 6, even though we played so bad? Yeah, that's possible. And that's part of the risk of tanking on purpose. Is yeah, there ideally we could end up being the third worst team in the league. We could have the ping pong balls and we could have the 8th pick and lose our pick still, y'all. Seriously. Because it's not going to be determined by where we finish. It's going to be determined by those damn ping pong balls when they come out. So that's why I'm saying tank for what? Tank is not for sure. We could do really badly in the lottery and end up with a lower than 6 pick and we lose our pick no matter what, even if we have a shitty record season. Yeah. Does that sound like a good deal? Lose for the rest of the season on purpose and you still lose your pick to the Spurs because the lottery picked you 9th? I'm not frozen. I just wanted to do a pause. Dramatic pause. Yeah. 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 Nothing's locked in, Cowboy. That lottery determines where we pick. That's right. That lottery is where we determines where we pick. All right, y'all. Give me a cutoff for sure. I'm under half an hour left in this chat, and I want to finish this up. Finish this up. Where's that little lock he put down? I want to see where I'm at. Kyle Lowry is a Charlotte Hornet. Is that what I just saw? Holy crap. He's a Hornet. Yikes. I feel bad for him. I really feel bad for him. All right, y'all. Definitely don't give me any more comments. Y'all filled it up crazy today. I see all the comments, y'all. All right, let me see. All right, here we go. Monica's saying, Yak, we are patiently waiting. So pregame shenanigans were pure awesomeness. Okay, I'm not even sure what the pregame shenanigans were. Seymour saying, well, top 3 or top 4 share odds on getting the first pick. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's unlikely we'll fall super far with a high, like with finishing really badly, but the possibility is there, just so you know. And if we don't trust the NBA and it's crooked, I could see them fucking us over somehow in that way. Cowboys saying, I agree, Kevin, the way he dances to the rim. Fire. Seymour, so maybe we could draft Alex. Refs came straight from Toronto South Jail. No calls given at jailhouse ball. That's funny. Yeah, RJ over IQ. Okay, that's what Kevin said. Seymour saying, Cowboy, there is a chance. Okay, we're still saying there's a chance. McGarvey saying, Lex, don't find excuses about Scotty. Don't have any help. Scotty has enough help to beat this Memphis team that's missing 3 of their best players. No, we have excuses. McGarvey, nah. I'm gonna get angry with you if you're gonna tell me that I should come down on Scotty right now. Fuck that shit. Nah. You need to go back and listen to the first 10 minutes of my stream today, and it will tell you all you need to know about why we lost to Memphis. Okay? I don't feel like repeating it. If you got here late, you need to go listen to the very beginning of the stream again, and it will tell you exactly why we lost. Okay? Nah, I'm not pointing fingers at people that don't deserve them. And Scotty Barnes is not somebody who deserves a finger pointed at him. Cowboys saying, yep, would be nice. What is the latest on Koloko? He's done. He's waived, bro. He's long gone. He's back in Africa. He's back in Cameroon, bro. He's done. He's waived. He's out of the league. He's medically not cleared to ever play in the NBA again. He's got blood clots, Cowboy. I thought you knew this. Where were you last week when this tragic story came out? That Koloko may never, ever play in the NBA again because of his medical condition. It's up to the NBA. That's what Darko said. It's not up to us anymore. The NBA has to clear him medically to allow him to play, and he's not. He's not. So, yeah, that's the latest. He's done, Cowboy. Don't expect him ever. He's not coming. He's done. That project is over. Masai said it's a fail. He said, my failures are Bruno, Koloko, and Malachi. And it's like he can't help what happened with Koloko. It's a medical thing. And it's still a fail. It's a bust. We're not going to get him. He's done. Let's go. Seymour saying, Mugabe, 100% last night was unacceptable, hands down. Y'all can make it unacceptable and get all stompy and upset, but I'm not. That's just going to make y'all more mad. And what's the point? Y'all need to accept who we are right now and stop fucking being all like, oh, this is not good enough, Raptors. You should have done better. Well, yeah, sure. But what's the point? Y'all can't control this. So what's the point of getting all upset about this and saying, oh, this is unacceptable? No, it is. And it's where we at. Accept reality, okay? It'll help you be happier. How about that? It'll help you be happier. So yeah, you guys can say this is unacceptable. Never do this again, Raptors. Okay, who you talking to? Who cares? You think that they don't say this themselves inside? Seriously, you don't have to take this angst on Mugabe and Seymour. You really don't. My Albertan guys, I love you guys. We don't need to be like this. We just say, look, and you can say, oh, you're rolling over, waving the white flag. Yeah, I am. To an extent, I have to, realistically, because this is the state we're in with our roster. And it is acceptable. When you don't have bigs, you can't rebound, you're going to lose. Any game of basketball, it could be middle schoolers, high schoolers, college. The team that has no size gets out rebounded and eaten alive in the paint loses. It doesn't matter if they have a better team than the other team. If that other team has a big guy and big dudes, this is basketball. This is how it's won. That's why small ball is stupid. That's why small ball by the Houston Rockets and James Harden years ago, when they made it something, is bullshit. It's a fucking losing mentality. You win in basketball with bigger, taller players. It's just the fundamentals of it. It's the fundamentals. And it's not unacceptable to lose a game to a team that outsizes you and dominates you in the lane. That's not unacceptable. That's just the pure reality of nature in the NBA world. You ain't got no bigs. You ain't got no rebound. You got no size down low. You get ate up. That's just how it is. And you guys can get all bent out of shape and be, this is unacceptable. Get used to it. Because if you ain't got no size, you can't compete. It's just like that. Bruce Brown's our power forward. Yeah, we're going to lose. 6'4" power forward. What the fuck is that? Seriously. Monica's saying, I saw Dennis, RJ, Jordan, IQ, Scotty, Chris warming up. So that's what you're talking about in the pregame? That's cool. I'm glad you got there early. I know you left early. You were telling me you were leaving early. You got there early enough to see all the pregame warm-up. That's awesome, Monique. I love that. Seymour saying, not sure. Some say he got cut. Others say he's G League prone. No, he's cut. He's completely gone from our team, y'all. He's completely gone. He's not on any NBA roster. He's not allowed to be picked up by any NBA roster. He's not medically cleared financial or insurance-wise to play in the NBA. He's not allowed by the doctors. The doctors have looked at his medical condition and say, you can't play this whole year. And that's why he was sitting this whole time. And it hasn't changed. And the Raptors needed to make moves, and his roster spot was held up by somebody who can't play. Well, they had to waive him. He's not officially on the Raptors anymore. He's not in the league in any kind of way. He's not allowed to play in it because his medical condition doesn't allow him to be insured to be able to be on the court. It's a similar thing to Chris Bosh at the end of his season, his career. He couldn't play any longer. He wanted to play more, but the blood clots robbed him of it. And that's exactly the same thing that Koloko has, blood clots. And the insurance, the medical doctor is saying it's too risky for him to play. He could die. All right, well, then he can't play in the NBA anymore. If I can't get this across to you guys, if you don't understand the current situation, Koloko, that is what it is. He has blood clots. They will not insure him to be able to play on an NBA court. His career is over. If his condition changes and the blood clots go away, maybe he can come back, but it may not be anytime soon. So just get used to him. He is fucking gone. He's not on our team in any form. He can't play in the league. He can't even play in the G League because he medically is not cleared. So y'all need to let him go. He is gone. He's waived. He's probably never going to play in the NBA again. That's just the sad truth of it. Seriously. Fiercey saying, I appreciate Thad's post-game presser. Happy he was asked. Yeah, I like that. And people are saying Scotty dodged the post-game presser because he didn't want to answer questions. You fucking dumbasses. It's just that different people do on different nights. And I'm glad Thad went in there and did it. RJ was fantastic too. Some way, Scotty, maybe he didn't want to face the press last night. He's got a lot on his shoulders now. And anybody who's coming at Scotty critically right now needs to shut the fuck up and let that young man go through the young learning process of how to carry a team and rebuild a team back to glory. And it's not going to be pretty or easy. And if y'all going to take cheap shots at Scott every single time we lose, fuck you, who's ever doing that. Seriously, just believe in young Wayne Scott, and let him do what he's going to do because he's going to do good things for us. And just, he would tell you right now, don't ever doubt me, Raptor Street. I say, I won't doubt you anymore, Scotty. I'm not going to doubt you. I'm not going to doubt that you can do whatever the fuck you want on an NBA court, and you will. That's what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy's saying, I'm all for Gary. I'd be pissed getting subbed out late in the fourth for Grady, only for him to immediately get cooked, but a simple hezzy and Gary was still cheering on the bench, being enthusiastic because he's a pro. Because a lot of the things that we worry about, they don't worry about. They really don't, because they understand what it's like to be a pro. In some ways, they're on the moon and we don't know what it's like on the moon. They're NBA pros. They don't understand. We don't understand what they do and what they care about. Maybe he really loves Grady and he wanted to see Grady get some time out there. And maybe he's very happy about it. Maybe in some ways he didn't give a shit about being out there at the end of the game. Maybe they were already going to lose. And he's like, well, I don't have to be out there for the losing part. Yeah. And Thad said this after the game. When you have a rookie like Grady, the other team is going to go at him and test him. And he's going to be tested. And the best way for us to deal with this is in a game like last night that we're going to lose. We're going to lose already. Is throw him to the fire. Let him make those mistakes in a game like last night where we're already going to lose. And boom, it's no big deal if Grady gets his welcome to the NBA moments with him playing defense and people cook him. In some ways, he has to learn somehow, some way, and start somewhere. And that's what he has to do. That's what he has to do. Seymour saying 0-3 with Brown. Barbecue ain't the same without the spice. Yeah. We need that spicy. And in some ways, I'm so mad that Pascal's not on our team anymore for multiple things. I'm mad at Rodgers. I'm mad at the anti-Pascal fans from the last couple of years, the same ones that were anti-Fred. You same little fucks. You don't understand. You're wondering why our team's so bad right now? Well, y'all chased Fred and Pascal out of the city. And both of them were very important to us winning. You know, Fred was just as important. Y'all hated him. And you see the effect that he has for the Rockets now. Do you not understand why he was good for us? You fucking idiots that were so mean to Fred last year, you dumbasses. Yeah. And Mugabe's right. Everybody wanted Siakam to leave. You're getting what you get now. You're getting what you get. You wanted that dish. You're getting it served. You don't want to eat it now, you motherfuckers. You ordered it off the menu. Yeah, you told the server, I'd like the dish with no Siakam, please. Can I get my barbecue with no spicy, please? Okay, here you go. This is kind of bland. It's not as good as I thought it would be. It needs more spice. You fuckers. You're the ones who said that you didn't want spice on the team anymore with your barbecue. That's what you get. A bland-ass offense that can't fucking do jack shit. Oh, my gosh. Wayne's saying, realistically speaking, we are missing 3 of our starters. 2 have been traded and 1 injured. We're in resetting mode. Okay. Now, Lex, like it or not, people got to go for us to improve. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. In some ways, I say these trade picks, Bruce Brown, maybe some of the guys who were on the team a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm open to it. I trust them, Masai and Bobby. And when they make the moves, in some ways, maybe they don't take time to do it. Maybe they're not doing it for a while because they are trying to stretch out losses and kind of position themselves in the NBA standings in a conducive way for the draft pick situation. I mean, every kind of thing that they're going to do is smart and deliberate, even if it looks horrible and shitty and awful. There's a reason they're doing this. There's a deliberateness to it. You can act like, oh, they're asleep at the wheel. Why are they letting the team just lose like this? Why can't they not have any size all of a sudden? How could they do this to us? Did they do it on purpose? Did they do it for business reasons? Did they do it because they feel like it's the best choice for the franchise going forward in the long run? That's probably why. They don't give a shit about this season. This season is fucked. In some ways, y'all that worry about the season and where we finish with the season, just get over yourselves. This is just a wash. This is a write-off. I've said it over and over again on the stream. It's a wash and a write-off. Carlos saying, one thing you can't do in the NBA is sulk for being subbed out. Jimmy, that's a one-way ticket out of the league. There you go. That's right. Gary's too smart as a pro. He understands all the pitfalls because his dad knows and told him and taught him since he was a little kid. He probably conditioned him as an NBA pro from 6 years old. He said, son, if you ever make it to the NBA and you get subbed out for a rookie at the end of a game in a game that y'all are losing, don't get all mad just because that rookie came in. Just understand that's what the coach wanted, and you'll look bad if you do that. Okay, Dad. Okay. Yeah, I taught you all this at 6, at 7. And he knows because his dad was a pro and he taught him, just like Ron Harper Jr. knew from Ron Harper Sr., just like people like R.J. Barrett learned from his dad and Steve Nash. These guys are pros. They get taught from people from before, and it really, really helps them. Yeah, really, really helps them. Trevor's saying Chicago and Atlanta lose last night. Okay, that's good for us in the standings, but I don't really care in some ways. Cowboys saying the season ain't over yet. I don't know. I mean, it isn't technically, but our season kind of is already, Bradley. Yeah. Seymour saying I'm sulking right now, like the statue behind Lex. That's the thinker. You know the thinker, right? That's that famous statue. He's like thinking. Yeah, it may look like he's sulking. He's sitting on paper towels. So in some ways, he's thinking about how he's going to clean this up. That's the symbolism right there. He's sitting on paper towels and he's thinking about how we're going to clean up this mess. That's right. Let's see. Stargate saying we need smarter players in this team. I mean, Kyle Lowry smart. I mean, Marc Gasol smart. That's the next development I want to see from Scotty, not skill wise. He's got that, but basketball IQs wise, he has it. Those two guys you just named, he has the same aptitude. He does, and he'll be fine. He's going to do this. I have no worries or doubts. And Scott, once again, he said he doesn't want me to doubt him. I don't doubt him on this. His IQ and his aptitude is on Lowry and Gasol's level. He is. Don't get it twisted. He's got it. And we're going to see it more and more as time comes. Chris is saying, this team reminds me of Don Flamenco. I love the Mike Tyson punch out stuff. All right, you're going to get a dunk, Chris, because you're adding to my fun little analogy, which is hilarious. Yeah, I love the Don Flamenco. He was so fun. Don Flamenco's interesting. It's true, because if you got in the right rhythm with him, he's down. Like, you could beat him with under a minute. You go, and Don Flamenco's and he's like laying on the ground and he's out. Not even a technical knockout. It's one knockout under a minute. You could beat Don Flamenco in the second circuit. Yeah. I love that you brought up Don Flamenco. In some ways, we are like Don Flamenco. I was saying we'll go all the way to the bottom, the Glass Joe. But in some ways, I think Don Flamenco is a more apt comparison to the Raptors team and where we're at in the Mike Tyson punch-out scale of things. So you don't get that kind of fun on any other Raptor channel. Where are we on the Mike Tyson punch-out scale right now as a team? We're Don Flamenco right now. Well, can we at least get the Great Tiger like flying all around? I don't know. We may use this some more. We may use this analogy some more. Y'all tell me. If you tell me we're in King Hippo stage, just tell me this kind of shit as we go. We'll remember this. Seymour saying we should have picked up Ibaka when we had the chance. I don't know. It's weird. He hit a 3 to win a game in Germany the other day, like a big buzzer beater. It's like huge and big hero. I don't know. Serge is probably saying, yeah, we should have too. He's probably thinking that too. He's like, Raptors, why didn't you pick me up? I don't know, because you take so long to moisturize and it takes so long to get on the team bus. You're like causing us time. I don't know why. I would say, why don't we have Bismack before I say Serge? Bismack's closer to the league and being serviceable. He's the one I really wonder why we don't have Biyombo back here. Jimmy saying he got subbed out with like 3 minutes left while making a late run for someone that instantly made mistakes. That's just a gut punch to a player. As a coach, aren't you supposed to build confidence? See, this is the thing, Jimmy. You're making up how Gary should feel. That's you. That's your own gut punch reaction. It's not Gary's. Gary's been in the league for so long. He's been all kinds of different things. It doesn't affect him like it affects you. That's your reaction to it. That's not Gary's. Gary was trained by Gary Trent Sr. He's the ultimate pro. Trust me. He knows how to handle anything on that court. You saw him with the shit talking going on the court. He was laughing. There's some sort of shit talking going on. I think one of the young Grizzlies got a little big in his britches, talking badass. And RJ kind of set him straight for a second. He said something to him. And Gary was laughing at him when he was inbounding. He's like, RJ just burned you, is probably what he was saying. Because RJ kind of did set that kid straight. I think it was Zaire Williams or Vince Jackson. Vince. It was Vince, I think, he was setting straight. Listen, Jimmy, you're worrying about things that aren't important. Gary's not worried about this kind of shit. He did not have a gut punch to his ego on this. It's coach. Coach makes the decisions. He just does what coach says. He's a good soldier. And it's not hurting his confidence for that to happen. He understands. He wants Gary to get out. He wants Grady to get out there and have quality crunch time minutes. And that's what Darko did that for. It has nothing to do with Gary. It's like, well, we're going to lose already. We might as well give Grady some time out there and experience in a late game situation. That's all. Infamous is saying, has anyone given the thought that maybe the front office doesn't want to make change until the team is as completely bottomed out? This is all part of the plan. Any changes will cause the team to win. Could be. It may be the way they look at it. I think that in some ways, if we're going to be like this, we're going to be like this. It didn't work out with us trying with the guys that were here, and we were starting to renewal. That, we're okay with losing, and then byproduct, we keep our pick. That's great. I mean, I get this, and listen, this is the thing. It's not natural, and it's annoying, and we do want to win at all costs, all the time. But we're gonna have to accept this for the rest of the season. We really do. Wayne's saying the season is over, and that's not pessimism or hating the team. It's called reality. Exactly, exactly. I'm not being a negative Raptor fan in this. I'm accepting reality, and I'm going forward with the positive attitude for the future and what's to come. In some ways, we got to go through this to get to the good stuff later. And that's just how it is. This season is a wash. It's a write off. There's no way, in some ways, that we should try and be competitive to do anything, because where is it going to get us? We have no development together as a nucleus, so that when we get around playoff time, that we're tested enough to go into battle with big time teams that have their shit together and do well. So what's the point? Let's go ahead and collect the L's, keep our draft pick, have an amazing offseason, and recoup and come back for next season. Having a great training camp with our new guys, our barbecue, and whatever flavor we want to put on top of that barbecue. Yes, new flavors. New flavors. That's right. Bottoming out. I think Infamous is right on this one. Wayne's saying this. Yeah, and Wayne's saying it too. That's right. Cowboy's saying, "Where's Jillian? She got mad at me. She left." In some ways, Jillian is an awesome person. She's a devoted Raptors fan, undoubtedly. I love her in so many ways. I love her passion for this team. But there's a personality clash, Cowboy. In some ways, she has things about her personality that are very outspoken, very opinionated, and she wants to have freedom to say whatever she wants in my chat. I'm not about that. I'm not. In some ways, y'all have freedom because y'all are reasonable. But in some ways, Jill is not reasonable with the way she treated my chat. She spammed too many comments. She had too much crosstalk. She had too much conversations going on with you guys back and forth. And in some ways, she's a shit disturber. Some topics I don't want to talk about very much, and she continued to bring them up. And in particular, that incident with Chris and I the other day, I did not want to put more spotlight on it. And she wouldn't let it go. So I got mad at her, and I said, "You can't just leave things alone, Jillian. Why do you have to go and pull the scab off of things? I'm trying to heal things. I'm trying to keep things going in the right direction, and you're just pushing." So it's a personality conflict. I love her. I think she's an amazing Raptors fan. I think she's a very nice person. I think that she is undoubtedly a truly passionate, awesome, fantastic Raptors fan, but she's not good for this channel. She's not, because her comments are not regulated by herself. She's just writing whatever the fuck she wants in there. And I told her, you can't do that anymore. And she got mad at me. And she said, I'm out. And that's it. That's it right there. I'm just saying, that's a cautionary tale for y'all. Respect my chat and don't fill it up with a bunch of garbage. Because in some ways, if you're one person that really sticks out like a sore thumb doing that, I may call you out on it like I did with her. And in some ways, I don't like people. Like, really what this chat is not a conversation like a live chat for like Raptors tonight or a open gym premiere. That's not what this chat is. Y'all are a part of this stream. And what y'all say gets said by me. And y'all need to really think about that when you're writing stuff in there. Like, I don't mind all the back and forth. And you guys are mostly really good, the regulars and all this stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that's getting written in there that is unnecessary, and it draws my time out way longer than it needs to be. And that's why I say, when y'all write them in there, treat them like cue cards. Treat them like we're on a show, and you guys are the guys who are holding up what I'm going to say next. And make sure that it matters. Make sure that it helps the show. Make sure that it helps the flow and the continuity and like what we're talking about. And it's not a distraction. And maybe it's not a personal ego thing that you just have to say because of it. If some of it's quirky and fun, I love that. I love if it's out of left field. But if you have your own kind of ideas about what you want to do with my chat and you're trying to overpower it and you're trying to do too much in there and it's not helping my show be good, I'll call you out on it. And that's what I did. It's the same thing I used to do with Logical Raptors Fanatic. When he was doing things in our chat and it was like, that's not helpful, Mike. I'm sorry. And stuff like that. I was being critical of him, but it was because I wanted the quality of the show to be good. And in some ways, she was getting in the way of that. So in some ways, it's just how it is. I love her. If she came back here, she's not banned. She can come back in here and talk anytime she wants, but she needs to respect the way I want to run my show. And that she wasn't doing that. Chris is saying, yep, the season is over. The players should work in an experiment process to see what works and what doesn't. Barnes is the engine, so let him experiment with his game. Give Dick time to run and shoot. Yeah, get Dick more seasoning. We need to season that Dick. Yeah, yeah, get that Dick more seasoning and let Barnes do what he's going to do and continue to grow. They're going to be fine. They know there's losing at the bottom of the pit, but there will win more and more as time goes on, and that will be the climb out of it. That will be the climb out of it. Carlos saying, yes, I understand, Jimmy, but Gary is a pro and he knows they want to give Grady some reps. Exactly. Carlos saying exactly what I said, and I didn't even see it. Mugabe saying, Lex, it seems that Darko only cares about Scotty, and D, that is a problem. Don't infer what you think Darko cares about. He cares about everything. He's looking at everything, and he cares about everything. Trust me, he does. Once again, let's not be negative towards anybody on this team other than like maybe Bruce Brown. I'm okay with that. But otherwise, everybody else, I mean, they're in a new flux of change. And in some ways, it's not fair to gauge them at this very weakened state. It's like they say in your life, you don't make any decisions when you're really up and high and celebrating and happy. And you don't make them when you're depressed in a really bad place either, because you don't make sound decisions when you're either in a negative or a super positive mindset. You got to be even keeled. And that's what I'm saying. We're in the bottom. We're in a bad place. We're in a depressing place. This isn't the time to make assessments of our people and come down on them and stab them in the back right now. We're just in a bad place. We need to band together and be positive and supportive towards these guys. It's not time to stab the coach in the back and say, you're a shitty coach. Well, there's reasons why this team's performing like this, and it's not necessarily because of Darko. It's not necessarily because of Darko. That's right. Let's see. Cowboy saying, Darko doing his best with all these new guys. We're building around Scotty. I ain't worried about a damn thing. There you go. Cowboy's got the right attitude. He's doing his best, and he's exactly right. Jimmy saying, I'm not going to hype up Darko. We're 12 games below 500. I'm a hard ass. You got to show me something. That's all good, and I understand that. But this year, you may need to give some allowances. You just may need to. This season was a schedule hit job. It's not even a ref hit job. There was a schedule hit job this year. And I feel like that game in Los Angeles is where everything fell apart for our season. And that was very much a criminal act by the NBA and their referees to help LeBron James beat the Raptors no matter what, and cheating. And that really, really hurt us in all kinds of ways. That game in particular. The injury to Yak in the Golden State game was another part of it. Chris is saying, cheers, bro. Any one thing Barnes needs to work on limiting his turnovers. Watch tape, study other great passers. It's time to study up, Scotty. Yeah, and he is. I noticed when he makes a turnover, he's calculating it and he's taking it to heart. And he's thinking about what he did. He understands that he doesn't want to throw passes past people. He's got to understand how they like to catch it. And he can't be throwing crazy-ass hard passes that are really super fast. But also at the same time, there was a lot of telegraphing his passes last night. People getting in the passing lane and stealing it when he was trying to get it over to someone. So some of it, like Trevor said in the chat last night, the passes were weak. And people were jumping in the passing lane and running the other way in transition because we weren't passing as crisply between guys. I see that, yeah. Troy's here, Troy Henry. I'm going to be honest, this Raptors team looking like a stage one team fresh from high school with few college players. Yeah, we really are starting completely over right now. In fact, I hope last night was our bottom, and we're going to start climbing back up. If Jakob returns on Friday and we still lose the Clippers, but we show a good effort and we play a good game, maybe we lose to them similarly to how we lost to them in LA, hold your head up high and see the progress. If we beat them, hell yeah, we're going to be partying. But in some ways, we need to take the progress within losses. That it's not the progress is not going to be shown by winning eventually or doing this. It's in night out, seeing changes and progress in certain things on the court, and then hopefully they'll add up to a win at some point. So that's kind of how we have to look at it. Troy's right. We're starting over fresh. It's a reset. It's a reset. Let's go. Let's go. Alley-oop to Jimmy. All right, we'll give alley-oop to Jimmy. Jimmy gets alley-oop from the Cowboy. Neon Moon is calling it out. There's a second dunk for Jimmy for 2024. All right, let's see. Wayne's saying, Lexicon, you are emphasizing additions to the team without subtracting, not GMing, but we were losing before Bruce Brown. Gary, Boucher, McDaniels were all here before him. Okay, that's it. No more GMing. All right, I want to make sure I understand what Wayne's saying here. All right, we really started to lose when Jakob got hurt. Like, seriously. It's really that. But then when Siakam got traded, that made it even harder. For sure. Like, since he's gotten traded in the 2 games we've seen since Siakam left, Yeah, it's really bad. Like, the game on Saturday was worse than the game last night. I'm gonna say that right now. We played against the Knicks and gave up more in that game than we did in the game last night, just so y'all know. Now, the opponent was much tougher on Saturday night, but the effort was worse. And they kind of waved the white flag in certain ways in the second half that were awful. They didn't do that in the game last night. So in some ways, I could say there was progress from the New York game to the Grizzlies game last night, even if y'all think, well, we just lost a half-ass team. Well, in some ways, that's the kind of progress I'm talking about we need to pay attention to. Is the effort better? Is there certain things that they're doing better? Like, they shot free throws really well last night. They were like 21 of 22 at the free throw line. Let's do the team shots than them. They took 95 shots. We only had 79. We shot 44%, which is not as good as recently, and they shot 46. The free throws were 22 of 23. We shot 96% from the free throw line. So there's progress right there. Recently this year, well, we actually had a really good free throw night. That's progress, something to point to that's good. The 3-pointers, we made less than them. We did shoot about the same from 3 as them. Not super good. We got exactly the same amount of rebounds as them. We didn't technically get out rebounded. We both got 47 rebounds. We had 31 assists, which is fantastic. The Stocks, they beat us 19-15. We had one more turnover than them. Points in the paint, they outscored us by 8. You know, in some ways, it's just like I've already said why we lost. I really do understand why we lost, and it's just because of size. Yeah. Now, some of those names, Bruce, McDaniels, I really want to protect Chris, though. Chris is the one guy I do not want to trade. Fiercely saying, in 2021, I made a decision to buy the Raptors yearbook for my daughter and one each year. Since 2021, the only 3 players remaining with that squad are Scotty, Chris, and Gary. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the year in Tampa or the year just after. Yeah, it's crazy. Most saying, at least we aren't the shitty Leafs. I don't know how bad they're doing. I don't know how bad they're doing. All right, Nako is reporting that Kyle Lowry has been traded to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm going to go look at this. I'm sure it's true, and I just want to see what's going on. The sources are the Heat are acquiring Terry Rozier for Kyle Lowry and a pick. Wow. How does Kyle feel about this? I'm wondering if he's pretty happy about this or not. He's probably not happy about this. He likes being around Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler, and now he's just got exiled to Hornets. Wow. He's going to be playing with LaMelo and all them. In some ways, they kind of need Lowry on their team. It's an interesting switch. Rozier on the Heat is kind of scary in some ways. His personality is very weird and very much kind of going to fit in with Heat culture. It's an interesting change for the Miami Heat, that's for sure. I feel bad for Kyle Lowry. You're on the Hornets now, bro. Ugh. We never would have done that to them. Alley-oop to the super fan Monique. All right, we can do that. We could do that. Monique Lawrence is getting another dunk, number 8 for this calendar year. All right, let's see. Carlos saying, Wayne, we were winning with Yak, though. That's right. We were 4-1 when Yak was on the team, was not hurt. Smooth saying, Kalo traded to Charlotte. Yeah, that's crazy. Our poor Grote. Carlos saying, oh, my, the Heat got Rozier, another spunky dude that can light it up. And Jimmy saying, wow, Kalo for Rozier just happened. Yeah, wow. Now let's get Hashimura from the Lakers. All right, we'll see. Call to the Charlotte. Trevor's saying, as I said yesterday in the chat, we should go get Jonas. He's a free agent this year. Yeah, Trevor's talking about getting Jonas Valanciunas this offseason. I'm not into this idea. We've got Jakob Poeltl on contract as our starting center for the next 3 years. And Jonas is a starting center also. And in some ways, they're similar. Now, Trevor's trying to say, well, he can shoot outside unlike Jakob. But in some ways, this is too much money invested in that position. Jonas is too much of the pay scale for what we want for centers this summer. They're going to have to pay him a lot of money. And in some ways, we don't pay Jonas a bunch of money because we've got Jakob. So I'm not into this idea. As much as I love homecomings and bringing people that I love, like Jonas Valanciunas, back to the Toronto Raptors, it doesn't make any sense, Trevor. It makes no sense whatsoever. Cowboys saying, you talking about Jones Jr.? No, he's talking about Jonas. I'd love to get Jones Jr. more than Jonas, for sure. Stargate saying, Kyle got traded to Charlotte for Scary Terry. They never liked Kyle in Miami, and Terry is perfect for the Heat. It's a very interesting move. I don't know if it moves the dial that much for the Miami Heat. They're going to lose a lot with Kyle that they don't understand also. I feel bad for Lowry is how I feel right now. Cowboys saying 41 watching, slam dunk, the like button, let's go, needs to be heard. All right. And it sounds like Miami won the trade. No pigs. Carlos saying Triple J is becoming scary good. His offense is getting better and better. That's for sure. Wayne saying I have no problem with Yak. Carlo J, he's solid. Yeah, I mean, Yak is going to be the guy. It's not Jonas. It's not Jonas. Carlos saying, yeah, hi. I misunderstood your comment. Sorry. Cowboy saying the NBA can't hold us back. We'll be back. That's right. Alley-oop to Cowboy. I like that. Carlo JS giving an alley-oop to the positivity of Cowboy. I always love that. Cowboy is really one of the most positive Raptor freaks out there. I love him. Tristan saying, wow, Mo. Wow. And Cowboy saying, I see you, Lex, by the three-point line. Shoot that for the best and most positive content in the planet. You're going to give me a 3? All right, you want me to take the 3? I'm going to make it. Gary, I'm making the 3. I hope you'll do it like me. Make that 3, Grady Dick. That's right. I'm making a 3. He gave me a 3. I've got seven points now. Wow, that's awesome. All right, let's see. Tristan saying need some bigs, and we're good. I agree with Tristan, and I think that I'm not going to overreact, and I'm going to be like Tristan and say we get those bigs, we'll be all right. I said at the beginning of the season, we need another big because we only had Yak. Basically became very apparent. Yeah. You were in that camp with me and Cool Cat. We need that depth at center, and we got exposed, very exposed right now. We're exposed like a man out naked in the middle of the Canadian winter. There's no good. Very exposed. Jimmy saying, can Charlotte waive Lowry? I would waive someone on our team to get him back on our team. His locker room leadership is much needed right now. I would love this scenario. If there's any way that this can happen, Jimmy, I would love this. And seriously, especially if he's on a discount and he just loves being back in Toronto, back home with everybody here around Scotty. Man, that would be fantastic. If it could happen, I would love it. But I don't know if it's impossible. And we've got to think about we have a glut of guards right now. We need forwards. Let's see. Carlos saying, let's go get them budget Pascals and OG. Let's go dumpster diving. I'm about it. Stargate saying Nick Claxton, Rui, Mo Wagner, Daniel Gafford, Kelly Olynyk, maybe even Mo Bamba because Philly ain't using them. Yeah, any of those names are pretty good. Daniel Gafford, please. Okay. Mo Bamba can shoot threes, right? Okay. Stargate saying, I don't like either TSN or Sportsnet. Both can be out of pocket. Kia has been a little iffy with her takes lately. Well, out of everybody, she's been the most iffy, but the TSN crew's solid. Leo is top notch. And Caper Ness, I really like her. She's a great personality. She's much better than Danielle Mouchot. Very much. Like if we're comparing them, maybe that'd be a fun little thing to do on the Thursday Think Tank. It's like TSN versus Sportsnet. Who has the better broadcast? And we'll talk about it on the call-in show and say who's better. Like their counterparts in certain ways, or some of them are better on, most of them are better on TSN. There's some that are on Sportsnet that I really like and love, like Sherman, Alvin, and Savannah. Those 3. And then, of course, Matt, he's on both. But those are really the only people on Sportsnet that I like. Everybody else on Sportsnet, whatever it is, I hate them. I really do. I pretty much hate everybody else. Sherman Hamilton, Alvin Williams, Matt Devlin, Savannah Hamilton. You are the only Sportsnet people that I like. Every single one of them. The Raptors show people, the pregame show people, everybody. I hate them all. Michael Grange. I fucking hate all the other Sportsnet people. Yeah. TSN's got better personalities. In some ways, what I was noticing, Stargate, is just TSN's more positive with how they cover the Raptors than than Sportsnet. Sportsnet has a really negative, like gaslighting, like you should be afraid or sad about the team way of reporting. And TSN was kind of pointing to the bright spots last night. And I appreciate that. I really do. Preach on, Lex. All right. Thank you, Cowboy. And preach on Darko and Lex. All right, Monique. There's Darko. Carlos saying just the rant alone made me love Darko. Yeah, the rant by Darko, my rant. I don't know which rant. The rant by Darko. Yeah, he's a real one. We need to love and protect him. Yeah, you love my rants, Cowboy. I get a little ranty when the Raptors are down. That's for sure. Jimmy's saying we're getting out motivated by much worse rosters consistently. I don't think that's what's happening, though. It's not that we're out motivated. We're out there trying. In some ways, they don't have the roadmap to understand how to connect with each other yet. And they're trying. Trust me. It's just that their team has been together longer. They're going to have their shit together more. It's going to look like they have more motivation. But in some ways, it's just we're not organized as well as they are. Does that make sense? Carlos saying, so if it's 100%, there must be a player in the draft we must want already. Something we can get excited on. 100% intentional. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll have to see. All part of the plan. We good. That's what Cowboy's saying. Ain't fucking around. Masai ain't fucking around. We good. Oh, David's here. We haven't seen David in a couple days. I miss you, David. You're my guy. I love you, David. Pascal was offered 125 million for 3 years by the Raptors. If he wanted to stay, he would have stayed. He wanted a longer contract, is what I'm hearing. He wanted longer than 3 years. In some ways, how much is that for 3 years? What is 3 into that? That's like 40, just over 40 million. Wow. I mean, that seemed like a reasonable price for him. I know that last summer we said, Fred, you can get 30 million from us, but we won't go any higher than that. Well, if we were saying that was how much we'd spend on Siakam, and Siakam and his guys said, no, that's not enough. And and then that's how this thing happened with this way. Well, that's just how it goes. In some ways, like I said, we build guys up to their potential and they get paid. And sometimes we don't build them up to pay them ourselves. We really don't. Quite often, that's what happened with Norman. That's what happened with Fred. That's what happens with OG and Pascal now. We built these guys up. We made them into something, and they're going to get paid. And in some ways, we don't want to take the price tag for when they get paid. We want to continue to build up guys and develop, and we can win within that way too. So, yeah, I mean, David's make a good point. If Siakam wanted to stay, he could have stayed, y'all. In some ways, he's right. Country Kong saying, good morning, Raptors freaks. Lex, RJ Barrett had 29 points last night. I truly believe Darko is allowing him to become the Duke version of RJ the Knicks expected. This could be huge for the Raptors. I love you, Country Kong. Thank you for coming in here with positivity. You're going to get a dunk. And I agree with this. I think that RJ's feeling really refreshed and happy. Even if they're losing, he's happy. He's home. And in some ways, he's getting to do stuff that he always dreamed about when he was a kid. In some ways, he's giddy, even though we're losing right now. I just love the energy around RJ so much. Cowboys saying, Uncle David, good morning, bro. Bam. I like it. Let's see. Fiercey's giving me the cutoff at 10:49, and I'm way over time. Yikes. I'm at 12:16. Stargate saying, if RJ can work on the jumper and can develop a right hand more, watch out. In some ways, him not having as much of a right hand is really awesome. We know lefties in sports can have real advantages. And I feel like his going left and being more left dominant is awesome. I'm so about it. In some ways, that's why he didn't fit with Randall. Both of them were lefties. So I don't know. He has some right. He doesn't use it as much. It's not his dominant hand, but he can finish with his right hand also. Pay attention. He will. You'll see it sometimes. Cowboy saying, good morning, Country Kong. Fiercely saying at David, welcome back, Cookie Monster Santa Claus. That's right. Now, whenever somebody says they want to give somebody a cookie, I instantly think of David at this point now. We good, y'all. There you go. Good morning, Fiercey. Criscom's here. The great Criscom has returned. Damn. Keep doing your thing. Totally different roster since last time I was here. It's looking like it's time to stack those L's. Yeah, I hear you, Criscom. You don't need to be a great Criscom to predict this. Yeah, Stargate saying one of these teams are not going to make it past the first round. Either the Celtics, the Sixers, or the Bucks will be out early, and any one of them will be looking to retool or even blow it up. That's what Masai talks about as being flexible in the offseason. Teams can go wayside, and stuff can be available all of a sudden, and you want to be able to be flexible enough to pick it up. And that's what he was trying to say about that. Cowboys saying the Raptors' future is bright. I think that it is too. And I think that people that want to only stay in the present and worry about right now, they can get upset. But honestly, I have the long-term vision that Masai and Bobby and Scotty and Darko have. And that's the smart vision. That's the healthy version. You guys want to torture yourself in the time being while we're going to be so bad. You go ahead. That's your choice. Suffering is a choice. That's one thing. We're going to have a life lesson for today. The choice to suffer is your choice in any given moment. I don't give a shit if they're waterboarding you. I don't give a shit if they're torturing your ass. You can be that powerful and tough to say, I'm above this. Yeah, you're fucking doing some sort of weird thing to my fingernails right now, like John McCain had done to him as a POW. Yeah, I'm not going to let you torture me. I choose not to suffer. You know, you can have that mentality in anything. And so in some of the ways society gets soft. Everybody wants to look for opportunities to suffer and be a victim. Well, you don't have to. You can choose the Buddha way, the Buddhist way. To suffer is your choice. And that's the thing. It could be the worst situation in the world. You could have fucking horrible things happening to you, but you could be the happiest person in the world because you choose not to suffer. This is the truth. You know, some people over in other countries have nothing. They're very much starving. They're very poor, but they're happy. Why the fuck are they so happy? They should be suffering because they're Buddhists. They're true Buddhists, and they choose not to suffer. That's a choice we all have. We're going to be a bad team for a little while. Well, it's your choice. You want to suffer with them or not? I'm not going to suffer with them. I'm just going to look at it realistically. I know what it is. I'm not being stupid and saying, oh, they're not, I'm not unrealistic. I'm being realistic, like Wayne and I have been talking about. I'm going to say they're just a bad team. But that's my choice whether I want to suffer on top of it. That's y'all's choice. Every individual one of y'all. You want to choose to suffer with the Raptors? You go ahead. That's your choice. But it's optional, just so you know. Suffering is always optional. It doesn't matter how awful it is. You could lose a loved one. And to a degree, the suffering over your loved one is up to your choice, how long you want to. In some ways, you could go plant a tree in their honor and get some good energy out there and really, really like grieve them properly and get it out of your system. And then you can say, you know what? I'm choosing not to suffer for my loss of them at this point. I love them and I always cherish them. It doesn't change my love for them, but I'm choosing not to suffer in their name any longer. And in some ways, they wish I wouldn't because they wouldn't want me to. I'm just telling y'all, this is a basic tenement of Buddhism. To suffer is a choice. And in losing with the Raptors, y'all have that choice. Y'all have that choice. Y'all have that choice. Fiercely saying Bruce Brown letting loose on the court is like chicken whose head was cut off. My goodness. I saw him at the finals. He helped Denver, but I don't see a fit with us, sadly. Yeah, I don't like him as a player on our team. I don't think it fits. And Fiercely, I'm going to give you a dunk for making that analogy. I mean, I feel like that's true. In some ways, it's just like it's too erratic and crazy. In some ways, he's not defined as a player very well. I don't understand his role. And in some ways, I don't understand how he can help us right now in our current state. I really don't. I wish he could just be plugged in. I see, wow, this is what he does. This is what he's going to help us to win. But I don't see it right now. I don't see it. Pluckiness and defensive moxie. Yeah, at 6'4", I'm not about that right now. I'm not about that. He's kind of like a last little finishing touch on a championship team. Like he may have been that little bit X factor for the Nuggets and winning their championship last year. But in some ways, he's not really a building block for a championship team. He's like an extra add-on that can help you put over your top and an X factor. And in some ways, we don't need that. We need building blocks right now. We need building blocks. Cowboys saying later, Lex, bam, we growing. Everyone have a great day and be safe. Hope we resign Skipley. Me too. Scotty did a little bit of the Skipley dance when he hit his three. It's infectious. People want to do the freeze because Dennis is around, and they want to do the Skipley because Emmanuel's around. It's kind of funny. Barrett, get him addicted to Jimmy's coffee. Okay, or Timmy's coffee, to Tim Hortons coffee. That's saying Jimmy's coffee. You can go to a local chain instead of Tim Hortons. Go to Jimmy's Coffee in Kensington Market. Get your coffee there. Yeah, peace. Fiercely saying, I support Mugabe. I saw how he was bashed and called a Pascal stand. I feel the same as him and realize the effects of his departure. But the business won over. We must accept, reset, and prepare. Yeah, anybody who stood with Siakam, whether it's Cool Cat, Fiercey, Mugabe, myself, we feel vindicated to a degree that in some ways, it's not as grass greener on the other side without him around. And we tried to tell you guys that, but you guys were so quick to think this and that, Pensair and you stupid ass people. Yeah. In some ways, I'm with you, Fiercey. And in some ways, look, I support Mugabe too. And I appreciate what y'all said, but also I had to be a balance in between to a degree and understand the realistic scenarios in the NBA and our salary cap and the decisions that have to be made around Siakam this year. In some ways, it's like I believe Masai when he said in that press conference last week, he did everything he could, exhaustively explored every alternative, every choice, and this is what he had to absolutely do, and there was no other choice, and that's all we can take it as, that this is how it is because this is how it had to be, and it sucks. It sucks. Fiercely saying, good morning, Cowboy and W Stream Lex. Thanks for providing the space to vent. No problem. Every day, 9:30 a.m. I'm here. I'm here for you. You're here for me too. Chris is saying, yeah, cut. It's a wrap. Team is cooked. Lower the ticket prices. Cool Cat saying, Kyle Lowry traded. That's right. Get Kyle back from Charlotte and teach our young guns the championship mentality. Let's go. Race mode daily. Yeah, I don't mind that plan. I would love that to happen. I don't know. We got a lot of guards though. I don't know. In some ways, that seems like, well, if we're going to do that, we might have to trade Dennis to the Hornets, and then he just takes Kyle takes his spot. Cowboy saying, perhaps the pay YouTube extra for more visibility. What we should do is put it out there. I share with other groups. I see Mischief heavily promoting as well and others. In some ways, I'm not asking y'all to do that, but if you want to, I appreciate it. I'm very, very appreciative of it. But in some ways, what I'm trying to say is I don't want to grow big and get really huge because there's headaches that come with that. But yeah, I'm not paying YouTube extra for visibility. Fuck that. That's the last thing I'll do for sure. I already get enough of a chunk of my earnings from this channel that fuck that. I'm gonna pay them extra for them to put me out there. I don't even believe that shit works. And you say Facebook's always asking you to put more visibility on your posts. I don't believe you would do that. So why would I fucking pay that? And same thing with Twitter. What the fuck is this? You getting people to pay to get their shit seen? Nah, fuck that shit. I don't need to do that to get further. No, I don't. But I appreciate you sharing me in other places. And Mischief, I've seen him doing it too. I love you, Base Man. Thank you for doing that. I really do appreciate it. Fiercely saying other peeps from the fam. That's right. All y'all, seriously, if anything, we know each other better from being more organized on this channel. It's like if you go into other Raptor spaces in the comments and we see each other, we're like, hey, we're family. And we can stick up for each other and look out for each other as positive fans. If anything, that has been cultivated by having this channel around. And I love that. I love that. I know that that kind of stuff happens with different channels already. There's communities with channels, and we go in other places. It's like Raptors Tonight, Open Gym Premieres, G League games. We're all in there, and we're kind of palling around, and it's awesome. It is a family, very much. Greg saying, one thing I have learned, Lex, is that subscriptions are not a reflection of relevance or whether people know of you or not. Trust me, serious ball fans in this region know who the Raptor Freak is. Yeah, and I'm not even worried about that. Once again, my goals for this channel are not to make money. They're not to become famous. My goal is basically to give information to you guys on a daily basis that pertains to the Raptors and try to keep you guys informed while allowing for a positive space, safe space for real Raptors fans that actually really want to see this team succeed and none of this toxic garbage we're seeing everywhere else. I really just wanted to have a safe space and a place for me to keep people as informed and educated as possible as Raptors fans. And in some ways, the service I provide as far as giving you guys ref reports and scouts on games and reactions, I enjoy it so much. So my heart is in it for the right reasons. It has nothing to do with monetary. It has nothing to do with views or subscriptions. And I agree, Greg. Like my stats are probably some of the most unique stats on YouTube in general. I don't know how many people are doing daily 3-hour live streams that have the amount of subscriptions that I have, that get amount of view hours that I get. I get crazy amounts of view hours because y'all sit here with me every day. And you know what? In some ways, they may look at me in the stats on YouTube and be like, what the fuck is this channel doing? Like, what the fuck are these stats? And I love that. In some ways, I'm my own weird, unique animal on YouTube. And I wouldn't change it in any kind of way. I really feel like I found my sweet spot and my purpose. And if my goals and my intentions for what I do are exactly what I just said, they can't fuck with me. Because in some ways, the only way they fuck with me is they take my platform away. Well, then I go to Twitch and y'all come with me. I'll say that right now. The contingency plan is if YouTube ever fucks with me in any kind of way that's serious, that I can't do this channel anymore, y'all, I will be going to Twitch and you will be able to see me do what I do there, just so you know. So, but yeah, Greg, you keep doing what you're doing too. You've got a great formula for your channel. And I know that your busyness in your everyday life takes away from how often you can do stuff. But when you do stuff, it's a treat to me, man. I really do appreciate when you get the time to produce stuff. It's fantastic. And your flavor of stuff is fantastic too. But I appreciate what you're saying. And it's true. Like if you look at it, I've got 850 subscriptions right now. But on the daily, I get almost 400 views. So does that mean half of my people that subscribe every day are all watching me every single day? That's pretty damn good. You know, some of these channels have like 5 million people, but they may only get a certain amount of views on daily things. I have a pretty good attentive audience out of 850 subscribers if I'm getting 400 views every day. So, and that's not even about me getting the thousands or getting more views over time. It's going to go up and down. And sometimes it has to do with how the team's doing. And sometimes it has to do with things are exciting. You know, when the trades happen, I got a bump in subscriptions because in some ways people want to be more informed about the Raptors. They know coming here, they will be informed. And that's part of it right there. Greg, you are awesome. I love you, man. And you keep being the Gubstown Clink, my man. That's right. Cowboys saying true, Fiercey and Gubs. Alley oop to you both. Let's grow. All right, yeah, let's get Greg a dunk, his first dunk of the new year. He's got one from last year, and you got 2 dunks career-wise now. And you want one for Fiercey also? Yeah, we can get Fiercey. The rich get richer. She's at 16, so she is knocking on Kareem's door. Kareem got knocked 5 points yesterday for bringing up the anniversary of Kobe. And now it's 18 for Kareem, 16 for Fiercey. Just so y'all know, that's who's at the top of the dunk list currently right now. The only other person in double digits at this time, I believe, is Jill. She was at 13. Oh, and G's at 11. So that's your just a dunk standings quick look. Kareem Thomas, 18. Fiercely Salsera, 16. Jillian Moody, 13. And G, 11. And 10 for Seymour Pape. That's your top 5 in the dunks right now. Just so you know, just a real quick update. I should probably share that spreadsheet with you guys so you can go look at it. Randolph saying, "What's up, beloved Raptor freaks? Good to see you, Randolph Phillips. Blessings to one and all. Let's rise out of the storm. Better and brighter days are ahead." I agree. And thank you, Randolph. Blessings to you and your family and all the other Raptor freaks families. Trevor saying, "Say to those same fans who talk about Kobe scoring 81 on us, how many titles their franchise has won? We have one. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we can always shit talk our accomplishments back the other way for sure. For sure." Wayne saying, "Okay, Lex, can you define what Raptor Freak means? Are we supposed to be apologists or are we supporters who can admit our team's deficiencies while still understanding the process? Failure, okay, not nonchalance. Don't have bigs and can't shoot above 50%. You lose every time. That's the truth." I agree with this. All right, this is what I used to say when I first started the channel. There are fans of the Raptors. There are fanatics of the Raptors. And then there are freaks. And there's a whole other level of being a passionate fan, fanatic, freak about the team. And that's what I'm talking about, that we're a different level of fandom. It's like a very, very super level of fandom where we, in some ways it's a lifestyle. In some ways it's like I live, eat, and breathe the Raptors. And in some ways, a lot of y'all do too. And that way we are Raptor freaks. And in some ways, the Raptor freak name has to do with being positive. It has to do with making the best of any situation. If the situation is grim and bad, like it is now, well, we have to shine a light on it in an optimistic way so that we have something to look forward to going towards the future. If we got into the mire of the cynical, negative, toxic Raptors nation, we would be thinking about all the horrible things that are going to come up and just being sad and suffering like I was talking about just now. That's what it is right there. The definition is we're positive Raptors fans that are super passionate about our team. In some ways, we're super fans. In some ways, we're diehards that will ride or die with the team no matter what. Some of us have been there with them since the beginning already, and we continue to do that. And that's really what it is, Wayne. It's a positive Raptor fan community of real fans, not turngoat fans, not fans that decide that they want to have conditions for whether they like the team or not, depending on whether they win. We're fans that are in there with them in the foxhole all the time, no matter what. Now, at times, I may sound delusional, pie in the sky, superly over optimistic, and maybe unrealistic. And sometimes you got to do that just to keep things together through tough times. People that have tough times in their lives, financially, economically, well, you got to lie to yourself a little bit sometimes just to get through the really hard parts. And that's kind of what this is here. I mean, we can look at it in different perspectives and say we're apologists. We can say this or that. Well, I say we're positive fans that love our team and we wish the best for them. And that's what I say we are right there. Does that make sense? I hope that explained it. Sometimes I over-explain it and I give you more than you want. Isaac's here. Good to see a cutoff from Isaac Campbell. The benevolent one is giving me a benevolent cutoff at 11:58, but I'm at 12:32. Most saying, keep up the great streams, like supporting one another, Raptor Freak family crew always. There you go. If anything, Wayne, we've given ourselves a place to meet and congregate and get together in kibitz and talk about ideas and be more organized as a fan nation. The toxic parts of Raptors Nation are going to be organized and have their own little spaces and do their shit that they do on Twitter. We better have our own space too. And that way they know that they have real ones out here. I appreciate what Greg said earlier. In some ways, it's weird. I'll walk around the streets of Toronto and people will yell at me, Raptors Freak. So it's true. There are people out there that know me just because I'm on here all the time. If anything, getting out here every day, yeah, I'm going to get suggested to everybody in this city for Raptors content at some point because I'm on every day live. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you too, Mo. Seymour saying, I'm a whole 1 hour and 13 minutes behind, 1.5 video speed up on catch up. There you go, Seymour. Run, go. Carlos saying, we can keep Boucher if we do have get bulky rebounders. But if he's the way to get those, then it's okay. Yeah, in some ways, I don't want to trade him. I'm very much on the record for saying I don't want to get rid of our last ring bearer or a Canadian. But yeah, he is not a good rebounder by himself. He needs to be around other guys to be a very good rebounder with the big guys around him to help. A fun guy saying Leo Routins is pretty cool and innocent to the sport, though. Yeah, I think Leo Routins is awesome. I think in some ways I hated Leo like 20 years ago. I did. I really did. He pissed me off because he was overly critical about the Raptors. And I've always been a super positive Raptors fan. All the way through because I didn't get tainted by Toronto sports fan cynicism. Some of the ways that I can be who I am is because I grew up in Tallahassee, because I was a Florida State Seminoles football fan. And I saw how Seminole fans treated their team blindly, positively, and loved them. It could be that one of our wide receivers robbed a Swanee Swifty on the corner of the city. Everybody's making alibis for him in the city. We don't care if he robbed that convenience store. We love him. He's got to play for us on Saturday. That's the kind of fandom I come from where I was growing up. In some ways, I'm not as cynical because of the Leaf Nation, because I'm not a part of it ever. And that's what taints a lot of Toronto fans is Leaf Nation and the cynicism around it. And I don't have that. I come from a base of Florida State football fandom, and that way that they treat their team unconditional with love, no matter what, I see that's my philosophy. So that's a really big difference in me and why I'm untouched from some of the cynical, negative jadedness of Toronto sports fan average is because I'm not from them. I'm from Florida. And I root for the Seminoles. I was a Canadian and a Toronto guy the whole time, but I was in the States. And in some ways, I didn't grow up living and dying with the Leafs and being disappointed over and over again. I didn't give a shit. I didn't watch them. So that's a big part of it right there. But Leo was negative towards the Raptors around the turn of the century, and he pissed me off. He's gotten way better. He's much more positive, and he's very realistic, and he can be cynical about the team, but he does it in the right way. Wayne saying, good job, Lex. You understand we play devil's advocate to push loyalty and cerebral thought processes. I love that. That's the only way we can get better and understand and really dig into things from all sides and understand it the best. And I appreciate you guys for it. I don't mind devil's advocates as long as you're not doing it to troll, just to be contrarian and just to kind of piss me off. I like being questioned. I like being challenged, but it has to be within reason and worthwhile. And I think Wayne gets it. He very much gets it right here. And I appreciate you saying that to me. I really do. Jam Jost is here. Tell him, Lex, what kind of fan is y'all? I'd rather be the fan than the bronze sexual. That's a special type of casual. On that note, right near the end of our comments, Jam Jost comes in and he just dunks it again. I'm gonna give Jam Jost another one. He used the word bronze sexual. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't get mad at that because I know about what he's talking about right there. That's what I'm saying. Y'all love the Raptors. Y'all Raptors fans for a long, long time, stay proud. It doesn't matter what we're doing, whether we're winning or losing. The one common element is we are passionate Raptors fans. And, our days are going to come again. We're going to have good things coming to us. We're just too good to be held down for too long. It's just the damn truth. So stay proud and be proud of your team. And don't get too upset about what we're doing right now. The future is still bright, like Cowboy said. Greg saying, good stream, Lex. I appreciate you, Greg. I appreciate your participation this morning. Once again, I will say to you guys, give Gubstown Clink a subscribe. Check out his latest piece on Bruce Brown Jr. and the speculation around him currently. Great stuff by Greg. I really, really love him. And I love you too, Isaac. Put me on blast right there. All right, let's wrap it up, y'all. 3 stars of the game for the loss against the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday. Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Thad Young. Thank you so much. You guys, we're not going to win any games. We ain't got no big men. We're not going to win any games. We don't got no rebounding. We ain't got no defense, rim protection. Without Jakob, we're not going to win. And in some ways, even when we get him back and we're going to play a team like the Clippers on Friday, we're probably not going to win then either. And that may be very well the design, and we need to trust in Masai and Bobby that this is what they want to happen. You think that they're so bad at their job, they're going to let a huge deficiency like this just happen for a long, long time? No, it's on purpose. So we need to be ready to go into this mode, deep sea submarine. We're going in the Marianas Trench at this point. Just call us fucking Jacques Cousteau. We're going to go down there and see all those weird googly-eyed fish for a little while down there. Yeah, we ain't getting up above the water today. No, we're not. We're not getting up there, the James Bond sub car that comes up and turns into a jet. No, we ain't getting that. Not this year. We're going to be in the water. We're going to be deep sea submarining because that's where we are in the standings. And that's just how it fucking is going to go this year. So let's enjoy the weird looking fish. How about that? All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Thank you. Please comment, like, subscribe, and share if you feel like it. Join if you feel like it too. I appreciate every one of y'all. Tomorrow, we're going to have the first ever Wild Card Wednesday. In fact, let me show y'all what I got. This is the special Wild Card Wednesday box. It's a box that season tickets came in for the Raptors' 25th anniversary season, and my cousin gave it to me for Christmas. When you open it up, it's full of NBA cards. So tomorrow, I'm going to open some of these packs, and we're going to see what we get. Last time, I got a Chet Holmgren rookie card. So yeah, you guys like those open box channels where they like open stuff and they like react to it? Ooh, Dylan Brooks. I got a Dylan Brooks Memphis Grizzlies card. Under no circumstances, Dylan. Under no circumstances. Yeah, but he is still on the Grizzlies. Yeah, on this card. But yeah, we're going to do that for fun. But there will be content where we're doing all the daily news for the Raptors also. But Wild Card Wednesday, the first one ever, I'm going to open a couple of packs of cards. And that'll be the fun new format out of the new Wild Card Wednesday box. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow for that fun. And then, of course, as I said, Thursday Think Tank, new format, the call-in show. Greg, I hope you can be there for that one because I'd love for you to call in. You already have my number. So during the show on Thursday, if you're watching, you can call in and give us your takes on things live on the air over the phone. I would love for you to do that, Greg, if you can be present for that. All right, y'all. I appreciate every one of y'all. I love you, and stay positive. Stay with your head up high. Even if we're losing to half of the fucking Grizzlies team and it's fucking stupid, it is what it is. And it's up to you if you want to suffer. It's your choice. Live your life. Be happy. It's just the Raptors. It's fun and games. In some ways, yeah, we can make it real serious. We want those Larry O'Briens. But in some ways, it's still a game, and it's not necessarily your whole life. So you choose whether you suffer or not, Raptors fans. I'm going to be happy and positive. I'm putting on my shades because the future's so bright. I got to wear shades. And that's what I'll say about that right there. Yeah. Fiercely saying, Lex, we'll do an unboxing stream, taking me back to when my daughter was heavily streaming like Shopkins toys. That's awesome. So your daughter was doing like unboxings? Yeah, it's a little bit of that. I want to get that element of fun and reaction and surprise. I told people you guys could send me all kinds of different cards. Trevor J's sending me a bunch of cards, apparently. And if you guys want to send me other kinds of cards or weird shit, like mystery boxes, we've done these a couple times. Like Isaac sent me a mystery box once, and I opened it on the chat, and it was fun. So in some ways, it's open for mystery box sending. I guess I should put my address out to certain people that are interested in it. If you want to send me something, just reach out, and I can send you my address. But most people don't need to send anything. I don't really want you to. Isaac's felt like doing it. Trevor's felt like doing it. And I've been very appreciative of them sending stuff to me. But it's not necessary. And it will be fun to have the Wild Card Wednesday box open tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have that tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Don't miss it. I'll see you then. All right, let's row and let's go. Fiercely Salsera, Isaac Campbell, Gubstown Clink, Jam Joss, Wayne Strainer. I appreciate all y'all. Let's go. Have a good Tuesday. Just clear your mind of the Raptors for a little bit. Clear your mind for 3 days. Let's take a break. Let them do their stuff in their training camp this week. And hopefully maybe we see a good effort against the Clippers. A well-played game, a well-contested game, a competitive game. If not, we do not win. But at least